Oh, wrong one. And come on, where was it? There we go. All right. Technical problems already. How's it going, guys? How's it going?
Hello.
So, obviously, you guys already know me. Jim, hello. How's it going? We already got
We
Jim
got
on the chat.
Well,
we got a
who
free
are
boy
Um,
here.
you? No, who are you?
I am Jim.
We're
I'm
all
Rod
Jim.
Skev. Obviously, you guys know me if you found my channel. If you're new here, well, welcome. Hello. Um, so we are basically just peeps chatting at the moment until we figure out if we want to change the name. So over there, I have Snow Fox
Special
115
guest, Angel.
and special guest right there. I have
Special
Snow
guest.
Fox right here, and then over here I have Danny.
Hello, everyone.
Which these two
Hola,
peeps
hola,
are
hola.
just two of the awesome, amazing peeps that I know in my life, and they decided to just join me on a podcast today, just because.
Just because.
Just
So
because.
obviously, you guys know me a little bit. Like I do, basically a variety streamer. I stream anything from gaming to this. I mean, now I'm doing podcasts, so hey. I come from, just playing video games and watching movies and TVs over so many years of my life, ever since I was a wee lad. So I just decided over the last few months and stuff, I just been listening to a lot of podcasts and I enjoy listening to them and watching them. So I thought, I mean, with all of the random conversations that we have in our PlayStation chats and all that stuff, why not just do a podcast and just talk like we normally do?
E.
Why
So,
not?
you guys already know me, so why don't we let one of these beautiful men here introduce themselves?
Beautiful man.
Beautiful.
Snow, you're more beautiful. You first.
I ain't the pretty boy here. Roscoe's the pretty boy. Okay. Well, I'm a variety streamer. I like to stream retro games and kind of current day games, horror, and so occasionally some Call of Duty with these guys. Um, I like anime. I like Marvel. I like all that type of shit. DC, no. Go ahead, Danny.
Cool. All right. Well, my name is Daniel. If you guys have followed Rodskev's channel, you might have seen me on the chat as Daniel Rockstar. I've been pretty much all over the place in regards to video games, nerdy stuff. I'm primarily a musician, but whenever I do have the free time, I've been doing from movie watching, following comic books, graphic novels. I'm all about that life. I like the nerdy life. So, uh, with catching up with Rodskever since last year, due to all the events, it's been a lot of fun just discussing pop culture and just getting into all that. And haven't really done much content like that because I used to have a podcast last year, but I'm feeling good about going in and trying it over again. So I'm here to have fun, and especially with my friends. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm
That
looking forward to.
that's basically what we're here for. We're just here to have a chat and then have fun while doing it.
Hell
Um,
yeah!
Mhm.
so basically, that's essentially who we are, and what we kind of want from this is just like we said, is just to give it a shot, see where it goes, and if we like doing it, if we have fun, and we'll definitely keep on, doing podcasts. Um, we're gonna see if it might be like either a weekly or a bi-weekly thing, but we will see.
You know what I want from
What
this?
the
Whoa, what happens now?
What?
Hydration Squad?
First, breaking news.
Oh,
Breaking
well,
news.
we made it to 50,000 on the
Uh,
hydration
yeah,
squad
I'm keeping
stream.
track of the. I'm keeping
I
track of
like it. I
the
like it. It's
chat.
We're
happening. It's
halfway there, and
We're
then we
halfway
do
there.
a hydrated stream. So we'll see.
You know, in regards to what we want, you know what I want from this podcast?
What do you want?
I want not so much argue with you, but to pretty much prove you wrong about Resident Evil 8, all right? Because
Alright.
that game it's gonna be not so much a masterpiece, but it's gonna be amazing, all right? For reasons that we will not get into right now because it will take up too much of the stream. It's gonna be great.
I haven't played it yet. I haven't even played the demo. I just seen like little bits and pieces, and I don't want to know anything.
I played
That too.
Resident Evil 7, and that was enough for me.
Yeah, that's right. Well, there's that, and I also want, if this keeps going, to get into whenever, and who knows when will release, but freaking Elder Scrolls 6, whatever
Oh.
that ends up happening, if it ends up disappointing me, I want to be like on this channel first to complain about it. So there's that. But if it's
Well
great, I will rant about that too because I have expectations, and I would wanna discuss that with you guys too. But yeah,
whenever that releases, hopefully we'll do this again, and
yeah,
we'll definitely talk
exactly.
about it.
Oh yeah.
Because I myself, I love Elder Scrolls, so why not?
Oh, dude, what? Oh, it's amazing. It's great.
Yeah, it's definitely great. Amazing RPG. But
I can't relate.
um you definitely gotta play them. Like you have no idea what you're missing out. But with that, what about what a lot of people have been missing out on? If you
Mm.
haven't been keeping up with Marvel and everything going on Marvel, it's amazing. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing. Like it's just everything that they're doing, like from the films, like the individual films, all the way to like Infinity War and Endgame. Like everything they've done is just incredible. What's the Marvel? Exactly, Kishi. Exactly.
What's a Marvel?
So let's talk about Marvel a little bit. Let's
Mhm.
what what got you guys into kind of like just watching Marvel, and how did you feel about everything going down from like the way that the movies kind of came out and then Endgame happened, and we haven't really gotten much other than WandaVision.
Snow, if you want to go first, go ahead
Yeah,
because I
sure.
do have my thoughts.
Well, first off, as you can see, I love Spider-Man right here. The main reason why I got into Marvel when I was younger, actually, my cousin, who sadly passed away a couple years ago, he got me into Spider-Man, and we used to watch the show on WB. Oh wait, no, WB Kids, I think it was. I think they still air it, and ever since I've been trying to watch Marvel and stuff like that, and the DC or sorry DC Marvel movies. Uh, what really got me back into it because I stopped for a little bit was I believe it was the Avengers when I was in high school, and I started watching the Avengers. And I was like, okay, wait a minute, I'm missing a lot of stuff here. So then I went back and watched, Thor and Iron Man, and worked my way up. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna continue progressing and watching this stuff. And now we're at WandaVision, and I'm like losing my mind over it.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Mhm.
What about you, Danny? What I know you are also a DC fanboy, so go ahead, man.
Whoa,
Spill the beans.
whoa, holy crap. No,
Oh,
let's not go that
oh,
far. I
oh.
want DC to be good, but it go fanboy. No, no, hell no. They've been
Talk
so
about
many
Willis.
bad films. That's so many bad films. But anyway, I used to play a lot of this video game called Marvel Ultimate Alliance back in like the original Xbox. And that kind of like as a kid, I always liked Spider-Man. I always did like dress up as him for Halloween, but there was that video game and it opened up like this whole world of Marvel with like Black Panther, Captain America, and everybody else. And like I felt like that was my gateway into liking superheroes a lot more as the years went on, because I think it came out like 2005, 2006, I can't remember. Then we had the first Iron Man movie, and it like me being at a young age where I'm like, okay, we're gonna watch this, whatever. I was blown away. I'm like, wow, this is great, you know? And and ever since then, like just watching the movies, like I used to do premiere nights with a friend of mine, David. Like he and I would just go to every premiere from like Winter Soldier onwards, and it was so much fun, man. Cause like seeing people that were so enthusiastic about it, uh, people that would look forward to what was gonna happen next, and then by the end of the movie coming out and talking amongst each other, like, dude, that was crazy. Oh my gosh, can't believe they did that. There was a lot of excitement, all of it leading to like Infinity War and Endgame. Like, bro, it became like a sporting event, you know? It was so cool, at least for the movie going experience, of, like, going to the theater. That was something that really changed the game, and for me, since I like watching movies a lot and I'm kinda like that film buff that likes to keep up with all that, um, it did change the landscape to like where we're at now with media and in general, because a lot of people are trying to copy that Marvel formula. A lot of people are trying to do the universe type of thing, where as a
Yeah.
concept that's pretty cool, but it has been something that it doesn't work with every property. And I know we can go more in depth about it in a little bit, but like with DC, like them trying to catch up to them. It was just it was a bad attempt. And like instead of just using that formula to like do their own thing, they just kind of like shot themselves in the foot because they tried to do their Justice League before Infinity War. It's like you can't do that, bro. Like it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
We don't
If
even know
you
But
these people.
we don't even know these people. It's like Batman v Superman is technically the second movie, and already you're introducing Batman and you're introducing Wonder Woman and pretty much the whole Justice League. It's like, what are you doing, guys?
I'm trying to
It's so weird.
I'm trying to think of the name of the other show that I'm thinking of, but like one of them would be The Boys. Roscoe,
Yeah.
if you still haven't seen it, you need to watch it,
I
man.
gotta watch The Boys. I haven't caught
But
up on
like
that.
ever since Deadpool came out with its like there was no limits after Deadpool aired as the movie or whatever.
The
The
rated R
Boys,
movie.
like I guess someone was like, "Oh, if we can start doing movies like this, let's just start putting a show out called The Boys," which was actually a comic book, of course.
Hmm.
And it's actually really good. It's gruesome, like Deadpool is. I'm not gonna spoil anything,
Hmm.
but if they can do that as a show, they can do anything else. So
Because the premise of the show is like, what if superheroes were really living amongst us in the modern world? Like how would society accept them, and how would superheroes act in that surrounding? Like what would actually happen, especially incorporating like social media and just pretty much that main concept of like, would they like, how would they really treat us, or how do they really see us as? It's a really good show. I have my criticisms of a little bit of that, but like if you ever want to just watch it, Rods, and we'll talk about it later, I definitely recommend it. It's really good.
Yeah, I've been looking into that one, and I've been thinking about watching it, but with everything like still going on with Marvel and all that stuff, like I didn't want to get caught
Hmm.
up into another show and then
No, of
like
course,
it's
but
try.
it's definitely it's something that I like. If I don't think Marvel at the right now with the audience that it has, I don't think Marvel would go that deep of a territory to for their storytelling. Now I could be wrong, but again, it's something that I feel like they wouldn't go into. And it's not a dig at them. I just feel like with the main general audience they have, they wouldn't go that with like the adult themes and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I don't think
mean
Marvel would go that deep either.
I mean Deadpool, I'm just saying.
Well, but that was Fox's Marvel's
Yeah,
Deadpool, not
I mean
we
necessarily
have
the
Disney's Marvel.
we haven't seen the dark side of Disney yet.
they
So
don't have they don't have
That's
Deadpool
an
on
entirely different conversation right there if you want to talk about the dark side of
they
Disney.
don't have Deadpool on
But
Disney Plus, do they?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I
Because if they
haven't
did,
looked into that.
actually, I got the app right here. Let me see.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, I have enjoyed like Marvel. I have different expectations of Marvel now. especially after WandaVision, because like as much as I did enjoy the show and looking forward to it, there are some things that have kind of like troubled me a bit as to where they're taking the characters. Nothing for Deadpool. Well, you got to
Oh,
put it
that
as
is
one word.
fucking up
I think
Oh
you just
well.
broke your
There
camera.
goes the screen, right? There it goes.
He just broke his camera. All right.
For the sake for the sake of the podcast, he needed to find out. He needed to find out.
Jesus
And he's
Christ.
back. All right.
Let me turn down the brightness. Hold up.
Yeah, Disney did say fuck you.
For real.
Yeah, none for Deadpool.
Yeah, nothing for
This is
Deadpool.
not found.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Jesus.
think they would have it yet, because like,
This thing
although
for
it is
rights.
technically Disney's now, like it's still really like quite rated R for Disney. And Disney hasn't released anything rated R yet. I know they were talking about the possibility of it, but who knows where
I
the hell
mean,
They
that end
have
up.
confirmed that for Deadpool 3 it will be rated R, but apart from that we haven't seen any still shots or anything behind the scenes just yet. They just confirmed that yeah, no, we're not changing Deadpool. So I'm like, okay, well, that's gonna
I
be
mean,
far apart from the main thing. So
in all technicality, if you look at Taken, the movie series, uh, it's not rated R, PG-13, but you see a man get shot in the freaking head. So, they,
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
it's
but
it's
they
funny because
I
if we
wonder if they
go
have
into
it on
like
there
the
actually.
film rating stuff, it's so weird that like certain PG-13 movies have some gruesome stuff happening and it's still considered PG-13, all the while a rated R movie that just so happens to have CGI blood or something is just considered rated R. It's like, what?
Seriously,
Only for like one hit or so. I've seen that. Like there was a rated R movie I watched one time. I forgot the name of it. But all that it had was this guy just had like a sword and just like swiped away at this guy's face, but you don't see the cut on the guy's face. You just see the blood from like a back shot with the cameras behind him, and the guy's like, flipping his head, and you see the blood going out, and it's like, oh, that's rated R. I'm like, how is that rated R? Like, what? Like they covered that up as good as it's so weird, man. The film ratings are such a weird thing.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I think it's
every
the
I never
imagination, I guess.
understood some of it, yeah, because like
hmm
it might be the imagination part, but it's just you're still not seeing it, so you're not like actually like, you know, featuring it in your film.
yeah.
So it's not like, because it's the same thing with like even regular like Disney movies or even Universal films. Like we
Yeah.
all know there's, you know, like killing and like sexy stuff happening, but I mean
Yeah.
they don't get a rating for that. I mean,
hmm Yep.
if you don't show somebody dying in a gruesome way, then well, guess what? It's not rated R.
hmm Are
But
we gonna make a petition for Finding Nemo to be rated R? Because we
imagine
pretty much see some. That beginning is very nightmarish, bro.
you
That's
just
some
get
nightmare
I
you
fuel.
just
mean,
get like fish on fish contact.
if you watch Age of Ultron, no, yeah, Age of Ultron, for the Avengers, I know it didn't show it, but the part where Ultron cuts off that, I forget the guy's name.
Claws.
Yeah, he cuts Claus's arm off. You don't see the arm, but you hear it hitting the ground.
Yeah.
So,
hmm Yeah.
but they put that as
It's
PG
so
13.
weird because the way they rate movies, it's like, oh, like how what's being shown compared to what's coming up in your imagination. It's like if you actually see it as a visual, then they go, yeah, yeah, no, this has got to be more PG-13 rated R thing, and it's like, what? Like, guys, if you are already like simulating that event, and in my head I know what's going on, I don't need to see it. I already know what's going on.
Yeah.
So what are we rating properly? Like, dude, I'm telling you, that whole thing is such it's a merry-go-round about like, wait, what about this? What about that? And it's infuriating sometimes because some movies that don't deserve that type of rating end up getting alienated because the way that it works is that movies that are put through the main studios, they have to have a general like rating, whether it's PG-13 or PG, whatever, and people go and watch it. The studios want the biggest return, right? So for something like Marvel, let's say, Marvel has the capacity of doing their superhero stuff, but at the same time they can't touch several things, right? So let's say for example, there was, just going off the top of my head, if there was like terrorist attacks or something, from that point forward, whatever movie or project they're making, they have to be very careful in the ways that they depict what's going on. Let's go into like what happened last year, when what we're still going through with the pandemic.
Wait,
There's
hold
a
on one
lot of
second.
yeah.
Is your camera keeping up with your face,
Yeah,
Alex?
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, wait, hold on. Did he pull the cord?
yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
He's got like a string where he's like, "Follow me, follow me." So the thing that happens is, like, with anything major happens or goes down, Marvel has to be very careful in the way that they do their future projects or current projects. Because, for example, if you do the thing with the pandemic, right, you may not see this type of plot point happening, or it may happen, but not to the extent that they'll show it, like nerve gas or something like that. Like, oh, we've released nerve gas onto a city or whatever, and then people are coughing or like holding their neck and stuff. You're not gonna see that. You're not gonna see anything involving that type of plot points, because like Disney and Marvel want the biggest return available to them, like the biggest return on their investment. So they don't want to like pull any strings on, or pretty much step on anybody's toes that's going to feel offended by that. That's why they'll do more like stories that are like, oh, this just centers around one person, right? Not an entire organization or an entire thing where it's connected to like real life events in a certain way. It's strange to explain it, but it was like, okay, let's say after the events of 9/11, there was a lot of movies that had American patriotism, whether it's like movies following the military, movies following soldiers, or like the life of a soldier, or something about feeling prideful of defeating a big enemy, right? It's like that shot in Spider-Man 3 where he's running towards the last fight of the movie and he's like in front of a huge American flag. It's like psychologically in your mind, you're not like, you're seeing the flag in Spider-Man, you go, "Damn, that's a badass shot." But in reality, it's like you're feeling that pride for a different reason. Like, does the American flag have to be there? Not really. He could have been in a different building and nothing behind him. But there's a purpose behind those scenes. There's an intention, and people don't recognize that until later, where they go, well, that seemed like a lot of American propaganda, don't you think? It's like, yeah, it might be. There's a case to be made for that. And it's the same with Marvel, for like most of the time, they're like, okay, why are they always saving New York, or why are they always somewhere else? It's like, if that criticism starts to get noticed a lot, then they go, okay, you don't want big city fights, we're gonna have a individual fight in another dimension and another planet. It's like, that's how it is, because at the end of the day, they have the biggest audience at the moment, and they don't want to upset anyone. But it gets to a point where with WandaVision, and we'll talk about it in a bit, I feel like there's something you end up sacrificing the more the series goes on with Marvel, because like one of the things that I start to get into is in terms of like the continuity and everything. When you introduce more characters or more people, or more entities of superheroes or whatnot, then you start going, okay, where does this connect here? Or is it more like we're just going with this as it goes? Is this a consequence of what happened with the snaps? I don't know, but it, uh, we could just move on from there and talk about WandaVision if you guys want now.
Yeah, I definitely see what you mean, and it's amazing like how many things that they put into the films and that you don't realize until like years later.
Yeah.
But hey, I guess that's
It's
just
it's a good thing you point that out. I was gonna say the thing with Civil War, right? When they
hmm
finally bring up all the destruction and lives lost because of superheroes, it's like, crap. Are we really doing our job, even though we're bringing this destruction? I mean, ultimately, it's yes, because you can't. If you didn't have the superheroes there, like a lot more people would have died.
yeah,
It's like, yeah,
and
we have to hold
then
you accountable though, and it's like that is a real consequence that can happen.
And then
So,
that's what happened in Sokovia, and then we get the Sokovia Accords, and what does that mean? Boom, we get Wanda. So now,
yep.
what the hell was WandaVision?
Snow, if you
That show was fucking
wanna
amazing, I
talk
just gotta
about
say.
what you enjoyed the most of it, and like things that you've noticed or anything?
Oh man, like what can I not talk about? The little hints at things throughout the entire series, or all the episodes.
Yeah.
The not the well, they talk about Stark Industries, right? And one of like the
Yeah.
commercials that they did, and then another one about Hydra out of nowhere.
Mm.
And then on top of the fact, the little hints about the mutants in the show. So like Quicksilver, the one that wasn't her brother but somebody else, he's actually from
Spoilers, by the way.
yeah, spoilers ahead if you haven't figured that out yet. But he's he's from X-Men.
Mhm.
But for some reason they casted him as somebody else that lives in the community as I forget his damn name,
Ralph
but
Boner.
Yeah, Ralph
that.
Boner.
All for a
and
boner
Boner.
joke.
yeah, and then this chick, I can't remember her name either. In the very beginning of the show, or like the second or third episode, I think it was,
Mhm.
and she became a mutant just because she went into Wanda's domain twice.
Oh, you're talking about
And sti-
Monica?
Yeah,
yeah,
Monica
and
Rambo.
still, yeah, I can't remember names. I can't, but
We got you. We got you.
I
but
got you, bro.
but now she's a mutant, and that opens the door for because in the comic books, um, the Avengers had Wolverine, and we
Hmm.
got to somehow get Wolverine into the Avengers eventually because that's how the comic book goes. So by them doing what they did here in the snap, by the way, they confirmed that when Thanos did the snap, that radiation went throughout all of Earth and the solar system and all the other galaxies and stuff like that. And by doing so, it created mutants. Um, lost my train of thought here. But anyway, by doing so, now we're gonna get more shows about X-Men. We're gonna get more shows about even though it failed, the New Mutants, but stuff like that. And my dog just snored, scared the shit out of me.
So in terms of
But
the
yeah,
New Mutants, I don't think it failed. I just, we're in a pandemic. Like, there's not a lot of people that can actually go out and, go watch the movie in theaters. And
mhm.
the way that they released it on some platforms allowed it to be streamed. I feel like they didn't announce those enough or like promote those enough. So not a lot of people got to see the New Mutants, like myself included. I have yet to see it.
I heard it
Um,
was pretty bad.
in terms of what happened with New Mutants, there was a lot of delays and a lot of pushback from like I guess Fox and
Hmm.
the Marvel team at Fox. And they kept putting off the movie for so long that by the time it did come out, of course, there was no excitement for it because it's like how good do you think this movie's going to be if it keeps getting delayed and delayed even though it's like shown to be almost done, you know? It's like that's that's one of the things that it has going against it. With movies, you always want to have that excitement at first because the moment you start putting it off, then it's like, okay, maybe this movie's not that great because they're not really, expecting it to be great. Other than that, it happened the times it kept getting delayed. That's when Disney had bought Fox, and then the excitement around what like the whole X-Men aspect at Fox was the hype kind of died down because they're like, oh well, Disney owns it now, so what's the point of continuing that, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of factors as to why that movie didn't really work. I myself have not seen it, but from what I've heard, it's like for what it does, but it's not anything that's gonna blow your mind or anything. So I'm like, okay, well, but eventually I'll see it. I know I have it on the list. I have a big list of movies I have to catch up on, um, but so Snow, you think they set up like X-Men and stuff with WandaVision?
Oh
Like, is
yeah,
that what
most
you're?
definitely, most definitely. I mean, again with Quicksilver, just seeing that the kid
Yeah,
boner,
yeah, yeah.
Ralph
um,
Boner.
yeah, Ralph Boner. Just by seeing him immediately, I thought to myself, yeah, they're definitely gonna put X-Men in here. If they can put that man who casted originally for that movie, they're definitely gonna do it for sure.
Yeah, for me, it
Now,
was a combination of that and then them also putting in like the twins, basically. I forget the twins' names, but um, like how one of them had super speed like Quicksilver, and then the other one was basically like a mini Wanda. um,
Yeah, yeah.
with that, like they're basically giving us more, like I guess, for lack of a better term, like evidence that there might be the possibility of like actual mutants being brought up onto the cinematic universe, and then on top of that, with Monica Rambeau basically gaining somewhat mutant powers from the radiation of Wanda's chaos energy. Like
Hmm.
all of that together is just, at least to me, it's screaming out like, "Hey, there's possible new heroes coming." And
hmm
while not all of them might be the X-Men, but who knows? We might get like, other people. And they, I can't remember where, but I remember them teasing a little bit too that there's like big bad guys coming along with, and one
Hmm.
of them was kind of teasing a little bit of Apocalypse, and
yep.
Apocalypse is basically like one of the main villains of X-Men. So
Yeah.
we'll see where that goes.
I actually
I
saw. Sorry, Danny.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I actually saw a little while back, actually. I think it was about a year after Endgame.
Hmm.
Um, they released on the Marvel page that um, in the galaxy they had noticed that there's a heartbeat, a living galaxy. Keep in mind that being, I got the hint that that's probably Galactus. And if they bring Galactus, they're not going to be doing a Marvel or sorry, they're not going to be doing an Avenger movie for for a long time. But Galactus would probably be one of the next biggest villains that are going to come into the Marvel universe. But they're going to probably lead it up to that. And oh, another thing that I just thought of. So everybody's watched the end credits, right? For WandaVision all the way through.
Yeah.
Okay,
Shorty in the
so
chat said the twins' names were Billy and Tommy.
Yep.
thank you, Shorty. the man, they're not called the scrolls. There we go. The
Yeah.
scrolls showed up and they're like, "Oh, we need you up there." Okay, well, that's leading up to uh Captain Marvel, the next movie coming up, but also the fact that knowing that scrolls are hiding on Earth now, that gives me the idea that now they're going to start doing Fantastic Four. They're like, of course, they're going to redo it, but now the scrolls are going to be a major part to the Fantastic Four, and I'm excited for that because I used to read the comic books as a kid. And then back to Galactus. But yeah, Galactus is coming for sure because the
Yeah,
scrolls are a part of that.
I can definitely see Galactus coming, and then like Cosmos and a few other like otherworldly beings. Just because Thanos was badass, like we can all admit he was badass, but I don't know what the hell the Avengers are gonna do once like literal gods descend upon like everyone else.
See, I find it funny you say that because like I have a feeling that we're not personally. I don't think we're gonna go into that realm just yet because I feel
Oh
like
no.
the main purpose of WandaVision, and I that's where it kind of what disappointed me a bit was that I started thinking like, okay, what's the possibility with them bringing in this fake Quicksilver? What's the possibility of them doing all this stuff? It all pretty much amounted to just showing us Wanda as a person and the struggles that she has gone through all her life. Where to us, like, we are rooting for her to do better, but unfortunately, she has that power that even she can't contain. right? So with her holding the town hostage, one of the things that like disappointed me, especially about her character, was that once she got out, she just wanted to walk out and just leave. But like everybody's just staring her down, and the only person that she says sorry to was Monica. Where I'm like, okay, she could have been a bit better and just shown that she didn't really want to do all that.
Well, she
Um,
did try.
she did
Yeah,
try,
she did
Yeah,
try, but
she
everybody
but I guess
wanted out.
that's kind of like the curse that she has to live with, is that she's got a power that she can't really contain. Now, the only thing that reminds me of anything X-Men with that is, of course, Dark Phoenix. Because the way that they've been showing her, the way they've been framing her, I'm like, this is giving me major Dark Phoenix vibes. And with what we had received before with the X-Men movies, they never really delivered that Dark Phoenix aspect too well, about going against a character that you followed and believing that they're gonna be evil and everything. If Scarlet Witch ends up becoming not so much a villain, but someone that has to do something drastic to bring back the people that she loves, I can follow through with that because that's a relatable villain, right? She may not want to do those things, even though she's trying to learn how to control her powers. If she doesn't find a solution to that, what else is she going to do, right? What else is she going to do to bring her kids back and Vision back? She tried that once with keep bringing Vision back, and she held up a whole town. Now, that makes her a target. Obviously, that makes her a target. So if she tries to do something to keep them here permanently, how much of the world is she possibly going to, hurt or possibly affect? That's
mhm.
something that people have to look out for. As much as we love this character because we followed her through all the movies, and she didn't really get that much backstory in all the movies, even though Age of Ultron like did show her and all that. Like, she was always kind of a background player, and I like that in this series, like they put her more at the forefront. Like, this is who this character is, and this is what we're gonna do with this character, and it's cool. I like that. I like the fact that um through I knew it was gonna be like a one and done because personally don't think the whole X-Men thing is gonna happen just yet, because I feel like they still want to tell the stories that they want with the original team or the current team that they have. Um, so with in terms of like the whole mutant gene and all that, I don't think we're gonna touch that until possibly after Phase 4. Because even with the whole scroll thing at the end with Monica Rambeau going into space, like you still have Captain Marvel's story to wrap up. We still have Doctor Strange's story to wrap up. And even from the original team, all we have left is who? Like Hawkeye, Hulk, and crap, who's the other one? And Thor. Yeah, Thor is in with the Guardians. And really, I don't see them doing an Avengers movie until they wrap up the stories that they have currently. And with the new people that they've been introducing, with an exception of a few of the originals, that's where they can bring in like an Avengers level threat. Who that may be, I don't know. If they want to keep it at Wanda with whatever they're going to do with Doctor Strange, I could see that happening. We don't know what's going to happen with Spider-Man because that's also like the big rumored multiverse thing that they're going to do. So it's interesting. I like the level of mystery to it, and recently with WandaVision, I've loved that the most. The only thing that I felt like was a bit disappointing, but it's so much more because I had high expectations as I kept watching, was that it wasn't really going to be like this mega threat or this mega changing thing. Because I was like, all right, what's the sitcom stuff about? Why are we doing this? What's going on? Holy crap. And it just ended up that she was just going through a rough patch of her life because she lost vision, and this marks like another event where she's lost everything she's loved. So it ends up being that, and you connect more to the character, which I like. I just kind of wish the payoffs were also like holy fuck, but that's just me.
Well,
That's
that's
just
the
me
thing. Like
personally.
she is the mega threat.
Mhm.
Like
That's what we end up
she is the biggest
realizing.
threat. Yeah,
I think we get too busy cheering her on that at the end we're just not thinking, "Oh crap, she can literally like damage everyone." I mean, hell, she was capable of taking on Thanos and possibly destroying him. Like
she
that's how
nearly did.
powerful she nearly did. And that's how powerful she is. That's insane.
I think she's like right next to Captain Marvel, because I
Yeah.
think Captain Marvel's like right after her, and then after Captain Marvel is I think Thor, and
Yeah.
then it's Hulk.
Mhm.
Yeah, and with that, like with her being the major threat now, the thing is with that it's opening up like the Eternals and all that stuff. And with the Eternals, like part of the reason why I think mutants might come, maybe not in phase 4, but we might get like little pixie dust every here and there. It's
Yeah.
because in the Eternals, at least in the comics, a lot of the mutants actually fight alongside with the Marvel Avengers and all that stuff in order to
Mhm.
fight a lot of the Eternals. So seeing us in the Eternals is part of Phase 4, and then we also get Doctor Strange and the multiverse, and then we're getting like a whole bunch of lineups basically having to do with the multiverse, including Loki.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm definitely excited. I wasn't disappointed in WandaVision because at least for me, I wasn't expecting her or for myself to see her as the good guy because I know who Wanda is. I know who Scarlet Witch is.
Yeah.
She is rather good for most parts. However, when she wants something, she will do whatever she wants to get it, and that's
To
what
get it.
even in the comics has made her a villain. That's why we get the whole, at least in the comics, we got the whole part where she basically like made up her kids with her own magic, and then they were just a fit male of her imagination the whole time. And she stuck like a whole lot of people, similar to the shows. She stuck a whole lot of people in this whole dimension that she was controlling the whole time until Agatha came along and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But
Mhm.
like with that, like I knew all along that she wasn't gonna be a good guy. I knew that it was gonna lead up to her possibly being a villain. Maybe she's not the main villain in Doctor Strange, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna see like Doctor Strange like sort of battle her in some way. So I
I
definitely
could see that
wasn't
happening.
disappointed. Uh,
Yeah, no. I enjoyed the ride for what it was. I'm just saying like the thing is there's that thing about Wanda in the sense of like how she got her powers and all that. I I I know that we've been going more into the mystical and cosmic uh side of Marvel recently. I've always liked that she just kind of was this experiment done by Hydra that she through that, she went from being that to being part of the Avengers and helping out and becoming a hero. I just felt like with giving us more of her backstory, it's like, oh, this was always a part of her. This was always this. And I was kind of like, I don't know, man. Like, can't we just have someone not be born to be like this greater than thou thing? Like, I always like it when it's just a human that decides to do something, and because of those decisions, they keep going through the obstacles and whatever. If you make her too all powerful, you start stripping away more of what like she can be. I don't want her to become like completely like lacking of emotion or anything because she has gone through all those emotions. I just don't want her to become like I said, like if they're doing the Dark Phoenix route, I rather they keep her just the way she is without saying like, oh, she's all too powerful, she's all too crazy, whatever. Because I feel like the moment you start making her more like a Superman is a reason why I don't connect too much with Captain Marvel as a story or a movie. Is like Captain Marvel can pretty much do anything, right? She's all too powerful. Why should I feel, any sense of like, oh my god, I hope nothing bad happens to her? Like, no, she's got it. She's powerful. She's fine. Like, you don't have to worry about her. She's got it. It's like, what's the struggle that she can go through, right? It was only just knowing where she came from. But even so, it's like whatever threat comes her way, she could just easily be like, boop. So like that's mainly my thing. And with like what I like about Wanda more is that there is been that story that's been building and building. What I just don't like on certain qualities, it's like saying that she's always been like meant for that. Where I'm like, no, I just keep her more as a human. Don't bring her too much into like this all powerful being. I'd rather she be in control of what she is and in conscience, like knowing what she wants, which is to bring her family back. That is uh an intention that for a villain, even if she ends up being like framed as a villain, I can still understand because Thanos was the same way. Like no one understood what it was on his planet of I believe it was Titan. No one believed him that the planet would destroy itself. Only he saw that. So his like intentions are I have to do this for the universe. No one understands this. Only I do. And that's why a lot of people enjoyed that character because it's a human flaw even though it's a mad titan. It's a human flaw to say I'm doing this for the betterment of everybody, not just, my own thing. Like I have to do this. So it's yeah, like it's interesting. I'm interested to see where it goes and I don't know, man. I really hope Fantastic Four ends up getting introduced by the latter half of like all this stuff coming out.
Yeah,
That's the one I'm looking forward to.
I hope when it does get introduced that this is like, the best one because we already had two takes on this and
3 actually.
yeah, or three
Yeah,
maybe.
cause 3,
So
yeah.
I
Yeah, because
mean,
it was the original first and second movie, and then the reboot, which
Mhm.
and
There was a
while they were
90s.
fun watching them, but I mean,
There was an embarrassing 90s one, but we don't talk
oh,
about
okay,
yeah,
that.
we don't
so
talk about that one. It
okay,
didn't
so the
exist.
reboot and the reboot.
Yep. I
But
think it'll be interesting. It'll be cool to see how they start incorporating everybody else. Cause like X-Men to me, I've always loved X-Men. Even though the movies as they went on, like I was like, come on, like we could do this. There's definitely like knockouts like Logan, Days of Futures Past, X-Men 2 is still my favorite personally. But um yeah, and I always felt like they could do more with that, but like as the movies went on, it was like, oh yeah, Wolverine's our main character. It's like, no, he's not the only guy there. Like, where's my love for Cyclops, bro? Cyclops is the leader of the X-Men, dude. He's the captain. He is the captain of that group. And they always sidelined him. I'm like, what the come on, man.
Chris says that Fantastic Four will be introduced right before Phase 5.
we would definitely
I
have to
think
see
so.
about that.
I think so. I don't see why they wouldn't. They could do like a Captain Marvel type of reveal too, where it's like something happens, they need help, and then they get introduced or something. Who knows? Who knows? Something, anything can happen at this point.
Yeah, definitely anything can happen because I mean, after watching so many Marvel movies, I didn't think that they would be able to pull off the same amount of quality that they did, like on a series. But then
Yeah.
after watching WandaVision, I'm like, all right, Marvel, you got me. I'll basically watch anything you throw at me. Because
Though
when I
I
first
will
started
ask.
it,
But go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
when I first started WandaVision, I will tell you,
Mhm.
I was bored out of my mind the first two episodes. I
As
liked
long
the
as you do that,
references.
sorry, I just put 4 fingers up, but you do the 3 episode rule.
Yeah,
The three
I
episode.
have
Yep.
this thing that I have the 3 episode rule. So whatever I'm watching, I'll give it 3 episodes. If you don't get me by the third, I'm out. But WandaVision, on the first 2 episodes, I was bored out of my mind. I liked all of the references, like the whole like I Love Lucy and all that stuff. Like
Hmm.
you got me. Like all right, I like that
Knock him
part.
in the
But
middle.
the actual show itself, I was bored. I was like, what are you doing, Marvel? But then at the very end of the third episode, where like she basically like kicks Monica Rambeau out, and then you get like the present day sort of kind of deal. That's when I'm like, okay, you're interesting me now, and that's why I kept watching because I'm finally in there.
What hooked me was like episode 4, the very beginning of episode 4, because it shows Monica that like she came back from the snap, and that instantly hooked me. I wish they kind of went a little more with it, but I get that they had to explain what was going on. But like her coming back and just being like, "Where am I in the hospital?" And they're like, "Dude, like your mom already passed away 3 years ago or whatnot," and her not being there for it, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like that 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 hit me, and I was like, okay, like let's see what else happens here, but they didn't really like go so much into like her losing her mom yet. So I'm like, all right, well we'll probably expect more of that with the next Captain Marvel movie. But that hooked me because like I always had that curiosity of like what would like how did it happen when the return snapped, right? Like the like everybody coming back. Like I wonder how people reacted or how things went down, and that was cool. Like I found that to be like the coolest thing about the show, where it just kind of like went into different places in regards to like, well, this is where this person comes from. This is what they're doing with the Wanda universe thing, and outside of it, how they're trying to get in. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, going back to the whole mutant thing,
hmm
by you said it was Monica, right?
Monica that went through and she got like her powers like altered or something. Like she ended up gaining powers.
Yeah, so the fact that Wanda had to change reality a couple times, which was like a span of like 8 episodes, I think it was.
Yeah,
By everybody being in there, their genetic code was being written over and over and over and over and over and over. So for her to get kicked out and then come back in like that, she got her mutant powers. So I'm starting to think to myself, the people that were within that community and within that dome that she made, they probably got mutant powers too.
it's a possibility.
That is a possibility. I haven't actually thought about that one.
Mm-hmm. Because remember, everybody's genetic code was changed repeatedly just for the sake of her sitcoms.
Maybe that one guy finally learned computers.
Yeah, maybe he did. Maybe he did.
How to send an email.
I was gonna ask you guys, now that we've talked about like WandaVision a bit, with the one coming up with Falcon and Winter Soldier, how are you guys looking forward to that? Like, what do you guys think? I've kind of kept myself a little in the dark. I only saw like a few promos and stuff, but I'm wondering like what they could possibly do. It's like from the way I saw it, I feel like it's gonna be one of those like buddy cop type of things. Like those two are just
Yeah.
gonna get into all kind of shenanigans and stuff. So
I feel like it's just gonna be filler for Falcon, because we already know about Bucky, 100%. But like for sure that they're gonna do a filler for him, and then we're gonna see what he's all about, Falcon. Honestly, because we barely know anything about Falcon, honestly.
Good Curse on the chat said, Frank the beekeeper, rest in peace. He stayed there. He did not get out.
nope.
Frank the Beekeeper.
He's the one that they sent in, like in the sewage pipe or whatever,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
said
yeah.
that they were gonna tag on it, and he never got out. Never got out.
Oh God.
All I know is she rewinded time, and then we didn't see him again. So who knows where the hell he's at?
Dude, what? Wait, she rewinded time, right? So he went back and then he went forward again.
But
So
did
was
she
he doing
rewind
something else?
time inside, or did she rewind time all over?
Oh God.
I think it was just in like her
She
own
could have just
dome.
wiped them out of
Because she's in
existence.
control of everything that happens in the dome,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
necessarily the universe itself.
So if that's the case,
Yeah.
where did the beekeeper go?
That guy's gone, bro. That guy.
She probably just wiped them out of existence.
He's just gone.
If not, then he might be a new mutant and he's gonna try to take revenge on her or something.
Snow is so like he wants that mutant thing to
I
happen
want
so
the
bad right
mutants,
now.
man. I'm just saying.
I want them too. I just
I
don't
grew
think
up
they're doing
watching,
that right now.
I grew up
Me
watching.
personally, I think they're just gonna be more character focused than they are like trying to introduce so many other people, because the
Yeah.
moment you start crowding it up, then it's like, who am I following? What are we doing? Then you start sacrificing, like, oh, who's gonna get the most screen time? That's why I feel like they're gonna try to finish Wanda's story, and whatever happens with her, like they're just gonna go that route. Same as with Thor and the Guardians. Like Thor has had such an interesting journey, in my opinion, that I like after Endgame, I'm like, where else could he go? What else is he gonna do? Right? That's the one thing that I'm wondering, because the guy has gone from being son of Odin, to being king of Asgard and all that stuff, right?
To
Like
playing
being seen
Fortnite.
as the to playing Fortnite to like pretty much like not being able to prevent the snap from happening and him going through that depression of it. Um, to me, I felt like he's had the most like insane journey out of everybody, because he started out as a character that not a lot of people were interested in, because he was like, oh, haha, whatever, the way he would act. And as the movies went on, he got more comedic, more like, calm down and relatable. And that's what I enjoyed from him. Like one of my favorites to watch is Ragnarok. I love watching Ragnarok. It's such a fun little journey in the
Oh yeah.
middle of everything. And with Infinity War, like you had that thing about him where he's like determined to stop Thanos at all costs, because he ended up killing Loki and Heimdall. So when
Hmm.
he ends up getting Thanos at the end, he wants him to suffer as much as he's been suffering with that determination to get to Thanos, only for him to not stop him from snapping. And he lives with that guilt for 5 years. 5 years until he's willing to come back and help bring it all, fix it and bring
Hmm.
them all back. So I think it's such a cool way to keep that person's story going. But I wonder where else could they take him? I don't have no idea where they could take him after that.
My question is like, is there really anywhere to take him? Because I mean, we're supposed to get like female Thor soon too.
Yeah, we're gonna have Jane pretty much taking up that
Yeah.
mantle, and him being with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm wondering where else they can take him, because to me, I felt like maybe Endgame would have been the movie to end his story on, but who knows? Who knows what comes next?
What do you think, Snow?
Maybe like he'll probably be with Avengers full time after oh my god,
Endgame?
Midgard being taken out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or I'm sorry,
Asgard.
Asgard. Sorry, yeah, Asgard. After Asgard was taken out,
Mm.
now they have New Asgard over in New Zealand, I think it was.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Yep.
um, yeah, probably he'll be there in full time, and then maybe like if they're gonna do other movies, he'll probably be like a sidekick or something like that throughout the other movies or something. That's the only thing I can see for Thor. But other than that, I don't think they're gonna do anything more after the fourth movie, unless they open something else with the fourth movie, and then the two wolves that are going after the sun and the moon show up. Wait, they did show up. That was in Ragnarok. Never
Yep,
mind.
that was Ragnarok.
But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, they can't do much else actually with Thor. His whole realm's gone.
I I was wondering what your guys' take was gonna be on the current Spider-Man. Have you guys really enjoyed his movies, or what are your thoughts on the story they presented with him so far?
So for me personally, I have definitely enjoyed it. I feel that Tom Holland has done amazing as both Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Because Sam Raimi, I loved his Spider-Man. Like when they did his Spider-Man films, I loved them as well. But I feel like he was a great Peter Parker, not much like a great Spider-Man. Then when they did Andrew Garfield, I felt the same, but the opposite. I felt like he was a
Yeah.
great Spider-Man, but as Peter Parker, he's like, no, you're way too good looking to be Peter Parker. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yep.
But then now with Tom Holland, he seems to be that good mix. Like he looks like this nerdy teenager that just doesn't really know much about the outside world. But then whenever he's Spider-Man, he's still kind of intelligent some way, but like still in that goofy way. So like you still get that attitude of how Spider-Man usually is. You know, like you get that goofy like one-liners every now and then, just popping in and out, and then having him as Peter Parker afterwards. Just you get this awkward teenager, and I like that. So for me,
But
he's done a great job.
by the way, Curse redeemed fact
Yeah.
about anything.
I will do it soon.
Okay. Just
What do
keep
you
it out,
think
man.
on the current Spider-Man, Snow?
Honestly, he ain't no Andrew Garfield, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
The first movie, honestly, it was just a shit ton of talking. And I was like, yo, where's my boy Spider-Man? What we're gonna like put more Spider-Man out there? And it ended up turning out to be just an introduction to him and then Iron Man. Just Iron Man. And then the second movie, not too much talking, but there just wasn't enough action, honestly. Maybe it's just me, but I honestly liked the first phase of where Andrew Garfield wasn't in play, honestly, because there was a lot more like story written stuff about Spider-Man at the time. And then when you go to, I can't remember this actor's name for the second phase or the second reboot of Spider-Man. What was his name?
Tom Holland?
No, not Tom Holland. The one before.
Talking about Andrew Garfield?
Mm-mm. Or am I getting? I think I'm getting the names mixed up.
I think
think
you're
he
probably
mean-
getting the name.
I think he means
Which
the
The
one
one
are
Sam
you talking
Raimi
about?
one.
Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin.
Huh?
He
The
means the
one
one
with
with Sam Raimi. I forgot.
With
his-
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, Toby.
There we go. Sorry, I get the names mixed up. The story writing for the second phase of it.
For the first
They-
reboot?
Yeah, they should have
Yeah.
just found someone else. But the new Spider-Man, hopefully they can pull me out of the dark with the third movie when it comes out. But as for right now, I have no faith. But then again, they did like mention the Spider-Verse, so I'm got my fingers crossed that I might like it.
So what I feel, I think there's a reason why you feel that way with this current Spider-Man, because I've had my criticisms of the current iteration of Spider-Man. Problem that I have, and I think this is where Spider-Man tends to suffer a bit. It's like he, for the reason why the Sam Raimi movies work so well with Tobey Maguire is that he was like the only hero there, right? So all the threats that kept happening were more character based driven because they were connected to him. Um and he alone knew that he had this responsibility, great power, great responsibility line. Like he had to carry that weight himself. No one else could do that.
Yep.
All the while he's trying to balance relationships and work and being a hero, and it's the hardest job to have. And I feel like a lot of the times, especially with the current Marvel movies, sometimes you don't get that entirely. I think we've been lacking in that area a little bit. Because I feel like there's that thing where it's like, yeah, it's cool to be a superhero. Look at all the badass stuff you do, but you are sacrificing more that people don't realize, right? With being a hero, so you're gonna be late for work, you're gonna be missing out on your date with your girlfriend or something. And I feel like the Sam Raimi movies hit that a lot better than the Andrew Garfield ones. Problem with the Andrew Garfield ones is that you had someone who was hitting it off with Gwen Stacy, and everything just seemed to fall in place, while at the same time getting Spider-Man, the becoming Spider-Man, and it just didn't really connect to me as a viewer, because I'm like, I want to feel for this guy, but I'm not really feeling for him. By the time they ended with like Amazing Spider-Man 2, it was like all they're doing is just setting up for Sinister Six. Real by the end of it, like like yeah, sure, Gwen Stacy dies and he's suffering through, but like at the end of it, like he just moves on, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, cool. Sinister Six, everybody, woo! And it's like, no, I didn't feel that. And with Tom
it's-
Holland, like,
Yeah.
it was a good promise, it was a good promise with him at first. I did enjoy Homecoming. What I didn't like with Far From Home was that he wasn't really feeling like, oh, and I don't know what the direction is, because I know that they're still playing him up to be this young teen, this teenager that just so happens to be an Avenger as well. But it's like at that stage of your life where you literally have been to another planet fighting a mad titan and joining in all the superheroes to fight this mega threat, like that should start changing you, right? That should like change you a bit. And all he's concerned about with Far From Home is like wanting to ask MJ out and telling her that he likes her and all that. And it's kind of like, I feel like there should be a little more than just, 5 years has gone by. What is your, relationship with Aunt May and everything that went down? Like everything's okay. No, like they just kind of simply move on. And I'm kind of like, that kind of threw me back a bit, because I'm like, really? Okay. Why is he still concerned with hooking up with a chick? Like first
Yep.
movie was about that for prom. Second movie is like he's still wanting to hit on MJ, and then I'm like, okay, cool,
And now
dude.
she
Like,
knows.
and now she knows and
Maybe
everything's
he just wanted
okay.
to move on with his life for a little bit. Because remember, he was still a teenager.
Yeah, I
So
just think I just
being a
think it's
teenager, even going through all that stuff, like
hmm
especially being a teenager, like you don't want to face everything all at once. So maybe he just thought,
yeah.
hey,
He
let
just
me
wants
just
to live
take it
his life.
easy.
hmm
Yeah, and then on top of
Yeah.
Mm,
that, like he was still basically getting overshadowed and all that stuff with everything, like all of the news about Tony Stark dying, like Iron Man dying and all that stuff, because that shit was still blasted all over wherever he went. So
Yeah.
he was
I
still
think
reminded of it. So maybe him just kind of getting himself, to focus on MJ and just being a teenager would have
yeah.
maybe just distracted him a little bit.
maybe this is how
I get that.
they're maybe this is how they're gonna introduce Miles. Possibly, maybe,
I don't know.
I could see them trying that out, in all
because
honesty.
like
Problem I've had with this Spider-Man has been that he's been more framed as like not so much the next Tony Stark, but I feel like he all the problems he's had in regards to the villains have come because of Tony Stark, right? You had Vulture, who pretty much got like sidelined because of Shield and Tony Stark. You had the Mysterio, who pretty much got made fun of for his stuff on at the Tech Expo thing that was from Civil War, that was directly from Tony Stark. And it's like the way they keep framing this one with this particular Spider-Man, it's like there's, to me, I don't feel like it's a genuine Peter Parker that has to face something that is personal to him. They have tried that because what's her name? The girl he was interested in the first the Homecoming is just so happens to be connected to the villain, but it's like it wasn't like a Doc Ock type of thing or a Green Goblin type of thing that, oh, it just so happens to know them on a personal level, that ends up becoming awkward later on, because it's like, oh crap, I have to face you. You are the villain who's connected to my life in that way. Not so much just, oh, it's a consequence of Tony Stark. It's like, no, no, this is Peter Parker, this is Spider-Man. Make him face his own problems, right? Make him face his own things that comes out of his consequence, like, than just, oh, this is because of Iron Man. Like, it doesn't have to always be that way. And he's a genius too. He's a smart kid. He doesn't have to rely on the Stark tech so much. But yet they did that for Far From Home. So I'm like, whether like it's cool and in concept, it's cool and all. I just want more of that connection to Peter Parker that we had in the past, rather than just, oh, because he's just going to be sidelined by pretty much everybody, because we have all these heroes, and it's like he can't really be the mega hero, he can't be the sole hero of everything. I'm kind of like, why not? We could do that. I don't see why we can't do that.
I mean, maybe with that, like with a new one, maybe they will do that. Because remember, the last one ended with him basically like being blasted. Like everyone knows now who Spider Man is.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe now the villains might actually like go after him directly, or even who knows, Aunt May or anybody. like anybody who he's actually directly connected to.
Could be, yeah. We
I
shall
remember
see.
that.
That's the biggest cliffhanger that I'm like, okay, I want to see what they could do with that.
Yeah, 'cause that was
'Cause
at the end
that's
of Far From Home.
yep,
J. Jonah Jameson, I think.
Jameson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jameson.
Jameson. Yep.
J.
Um,
Jonah Jameson.
he basically blasted that, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. It was like
Mhm.
all over like the Times Square.
Yep.
So with that, for Spider-Man, I'm gonna go ahead and do a random fact. So for the random fact for Spider-Man, did you guys know that Stan Lee actually came up with the idea of Spider-Man from watching a fly?
Yep, I knew that. Yep,
He-
I knew about that.
Wow.
Yeah, he was sitting at the office one day. He saw a fly stick to the wall, and then immediately he thought of the idea of like the next superhero for Marvel Comics or comics in general needs to be somebody who sticks to the wall. So that's where he went on with the idea of Spider-Man.
I love how some
Yeah.
people say like, oh, you have to really look into something to come up with a good idea. Sometimes you just have to look at a wall and
Yeah.
it'll just come up naturally, you know?
Like just look at a wall and wow, that's a fly. Oh wait, I got an idea.
I got an idea. Yep.
Yeah. Did anybody else know that Spider-Man was actually turned down from his editor a couple
Yeah.
times?
Yeah.
The editor, it was like, everybody's afraid of spiders. Who would want to have a superhero as a spider? And then Stan Lee was like, man, I had a really good idea, and this motherfucker turned my idea down. So he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna sneak this into the publishing industry. And when he did, his editor came back and he's like, did you do that thing I told you not to do? And Stanley was like, yeah. He goes, well, keep doing it. And ever since then, Spider-Man has been a gigantic iconic character for Marvel.
Yeah, and it's possibly one of the biggest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
Is it-
we'll see where it goes.
Look
man.
at your nephew. His favorite character. Sorry, his
Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
character is Spider-Man.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
that kid.
Yeah, at first he was like,
Spider-Man.
"Oh, Iron Man," but then he like saw Spider-Man. He was like, "Ooh."
The problem was, or not the problem, the solution was that he saw Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
There you
And
go.
that's ever
That's
since
all
he
you
loved
needed.
Spider-Man. That's what he needed. He saw that, he's like,
Bro,
oh.
that movie, I know it has gotten major love, but I feel like it needs more than that major love because I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like animated movies don't get the recognition they should.
Especially that style of animation. That was
Oh,
beautiful.
dude, that was amazing. It looked like half comic book, half like freaking crazy ass multiverse adventure. I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
all the styles, all the colors. It was beautiful. It was awesome.
The number one thing I cannot wait for the next Spider-Verse movie
Mhm.
would be Spider-Man 2099, and
Oh,
they
that
have
would be
never,
great.
they've never, well, they introduced him in the games and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
the only other area were the comic books, with no, was there a cartoon for it? I don't remember.
I think he was in a cartoon.
Okay, but like it doesn't get much love. But in the next movie, I'm hoping that everybody realizes, oh shit, Spider-Man 2099. Miguel is his name, by the way.
Yeah.
And him coming into the Spider-Verse opens so many possibilities for upcoming Marvel movies later on, because we get to see the futuristic part of Spider-Man, and we get to see futuristic villains as well, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what they do with Spider-Man. But to take this back to Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely excited for it. I got all the hype in the world after watching WandaVision, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. I am also kind of like Danny. I am trying to keep myself as blind as I can with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So
Yeah.
I saw, I think it was the trailer that they showed when they first announced it. That
Yeah.
wasn't like that 4-hour Disney meeting or something like that. And then
Yeah.
and then like one promo after that, and then I haven't seen anything else. So
Mhm.
with that, they got me. Like it looks like it's gonna be like action packed, like like a buddy cop movie,
Yeah.
and it looks interesting. Like I'm definitely excited for
I
Think
don't know. I don't have any hopes for it, honestly.
it.
you just feel like it's more like like you said earlier, it's just more like a filler for Falcon just to give him more backstory because he hasn't really gotten much.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking for it.
I'm
But
wondering where else they could take Bucky too, because Bucky's been in like a 100-year life
well,
adventure.
Bucky was
So
supposed to be the next Captain America according to the comic books.
yeah,
So maybe in this movie, Falcon finds out maybe I'm not the right one for the shield, and maybe I'm gonna pass it on to Bucky because Bucky would
nah,
probably
but
do a
Maybe.
better job.
I think
But
they're
that's
gonna
just my
stand
thought.
their. I think they will stand their ground with Falcon staying as Captain America. There may be that conflict where he's like, "Oh, I don't feel good enough for this," and tries to like pin it on Bucky, but Bucky's gonna be like, "Nah, dude, you got this. You can do
Yeah.
it." So
Oh,
I
yeah,
that
already got a
reminds me.
middle arm, man. Just take the middle
Yeah.
shield.
yeah, like exactly.
That reminds me. Actually, did anybody see the screenshot for the new Black Panther movie that's coming out?
No, I haven't
I
seen it.
saw one going around, but I think it was fake. So I haven't seen anything confirmed, and I think we
Mm,
lost Snowfox.
I think we did.
Oh no!
Oh no, I'm like parted halfway.
Oh, I'm
Booty
double.
Curse does
Oh god!
say.
I hate it. Hold on one
I
sec.
Well,
am double.
Booty Curse does say. I think it's going to set up Avengers 5 or next Assembly of Heroes.
It might. It might. We will
It might.
definitely see. Okay, we got Snowfox back. All right.
Yeah, I hate it when it does that. I don't know why it does that from time to time.
I was double for a moment.
I was like split in half. I was like, ah.
What was I saying?
So you were saying that with Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's not like you just feel like they want to put it like because I remember saying I was like Falcon's gonna want to take it to Bucky and say like, nah, you do this, and that's not really gonna go that way. Falcon's gonna stay as Captain America, pretty much.
Okay, yeah. Okay. And I know I was talking about Black Panther too.
Oh, Black Panther.
But yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
his sister is on the front of it, and she's doing the Wakanda thing, but she's got his suit on, and then you see Killmonger right behind her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
the same one
maybe
I've seen going around, but I don't know if it's faked or not. Like it
I think
it
that's
looked
probably.
like it was faked, but because I haven't seen anything officially released by Marvel,
Mhm.
unless they've released it in like the past 2 hours. But
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Did they
anything
kill
yet.
Killmonger?
So
I don't remember.
Well,
He killed himself.
yeah, he killed himself
So
technically.
how the hell? Okay, yes, that's,
Yeah,
that's definitely
exactly.
Photoshop then.
Yeah, that
I don't know.
unless
But
like after he died, they probably took his body and like, hey, we got all of the technology. Let's do it.
Right? Yeah, they could.
So what if they're gonna like interpret his cancer into the actual movie, and then like his sister
Nah,
will be,
they won't do that.
I don't think
They
they
already
will.
or
said
he
that
just like,
they won't recast the role, and if anything, like
yeah, they're gonna do
they'll
the world,
just-
right?
I think they'll probably just have him like pass away out of camera, right? Like saying that he is in the ancestral field and whatnot, the ancestral plane,
Yeah.
and either Churi or someone else is going to take that mantle for themselves. And I think that's the route that they might end up taking. Not so much because of, girl power or anything, but like, I think, and I'm just thinking on like, the marketing of it, and the framing of it, they would want to have a female led, especially of color, to be front and center in that. Me personally, I think that's the route that they should go because a lot of people would stand behind that and a lot of people would be on board with that. So if it is Churi, pretty cool. If not, if it's someone else, then we'll see how it goes. So far, there was an interview with the director of Black Panther 2, and he has stated that making this movie without Chadwick Boseman has been the most difficult thing to do. So it is gonna be something that we'll have to see how it ends up being, because it is tough, man. I remember being really like bummed out by the news that he
Oh yeah.
passed away. That was really,
Yeah.
really unfair, man. But
Maybe maybe this dude from the, I think it was the Gorilla Clan. I don't remember the name.
oh, yeah.
Maybe
M'Baku.
he might take over as the next Black Panther, because they've been trying to get their land for a while too, but then they, gained a bond in the movie, so
It makes sense. Yeah, it could make sense that he would want to take the mantle up for himself or something.
mhm.
Me personally, I still think they will just keep it to a female doing it because I think, in terms of like the female, like who's really, not to go too much into like race or anything, but like who, the diversity of like the people that are superheroes right now in the Marvel roster and our current one for the MCU. Like, who do we really have that's like got powers and stuff? So far, it's like Monica Rambeau, um,
Oh,
Captain
there's
Marvel.
there's Spider-Man,
Marvel.
Captain Marvel, Thor, Hulk. Captain
I'm
America's
sorry,
not there
Valkyrie.
anymore.
Valkyrie's one. She's got her powers.
Well,
Yeah.
she's just got super strength, honestly.
Yeah.
Wanda, you got Doctor Strange.
They have
Uh,
Wasp, but I think Wasp is more like a suit than
No,
she's
that's
a
just-
super
Yeah, I
that's
think
just-
I think
that's
that was
tech.
just a suit.
Yeah, it's just
Mhm.
tech.
So what?
Oh,
Did
actually, I
they ever
just thought of
kill
something.
off that girl that goes invisible? Or whatever? They never
No, I
killed her
think
off,
she
right?
either. I think she got cured or something.
Okay.
Going back to the Wasp, actually, for Ant-Man, you know how he said he was in the quantum realm for only 5 hours, and 5 years had passed.
Mm-hmm.
What if they end up doing a movie for those 5 hours he was there, and while in the quantum realm, because there's actually a civilization in the quantum realm that they introduce. I forget the name of the character because I'm not good with names,
Yeah.
but there is a civilization that's in the quantum realm that there's a king, and he controls the quantum realm. What if they introduce him?
Be cool. I
That's
don't
a
know if
possibility.
people would want to. I don't know if people would want like a, not so much a prequel, but like something on the side that happened, because I think they would have announced that by now or shown that to some extent. But that's a possibility. Yeah. Who knows?
Because I know in the comic books he did end up, like, just like in the movie, he got stuck in the quantum realm but for a really long time,
Yeah.
and during that time he was with this dude from the quantum realm. So those are my thoughts.
What else are you guys excited for though? Like in terms of what they've announced so far, like for like me personally, I want to see what the Eternals, like what they're
Mhm.
going to do with that, because we haven't seen anything from that. And pretty like they have announced, well, not so much announced, but it's been reported that they already finished filming. Like that one's been done.
Yeah.
Also like Blade. I'm excited to see Blade and see what they're gonna do with that. The one I
Do we
really
know
want
who's
is,
doing Blade?
Yeah, Mahershala Ali. He's the actor who's doing that role.
Okay.
Oh, another one that I'm really excited for. What if?
The What Ifs, yeah.
The What If
The What If.
series.
Yeah,
Those are interesting as, like, a what if scenario.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
I don't know. I think I just want to, like, watch, what actually happens primarily.
I feel
I
like
just-
that's more like a fan servicey type of
Yeah,
thing.
basically.
Like,
I just want to see what happens when everybody becomes a freaking zombie, because that happened in the Marvel universe.
yeah, Marvel Zombies. That's true. Yep.
I want to see that happen. And then there's also Deadpool, where he killed the entire Marvel universe. So maybe they might introduce that. I don't know. Maybe. I doubt it, though. I would love to see it.
I think a fly told me that you didn't really like Deadpool, Mr. Rods. Those are some fighting words, my dude. Those are some fighting words.
It was a good action film, but I don't know. Just Deadpool as a character, like, as a whole, I don't really like Deadpool too much. Like, I just feel like he's too much of that, just a jokester and all that. And I don't know. I feel like I can never feel for that character like I feel for other characters. Like, it's
Right.
he's just Deadpool. Like, that's basically it. Like, he's just Deadpool. He never dies, and he can practically do anything. Like, He's Deadpool.
Well, I mean, in all technicality, Deadpool did die a couple times.
Goothicker said, "Meet me outside, bro."
Yeah, Deadpool actually did die a couple times. If you or if you read the comic books, and I keep referencing the comic books and
Yeah.
all, but there was a couple times he, like I said, he did, and he actually met Death a couple times. But Death would always tell him, "It's not your time, but I will show you the stuff that you need to do later down the line of your life. And when you do die, I'll take you." He actually met a character named Death.
Yeah.
But
yeah, just
trying to see.
It was never really a character I was interested in, honestly. Like, even before the movies, like, I was just, okay, a guy with 2 guns and he's basically an immortal. All right.
Is that though you felt the same way with like the movies, or how have you seen the movies?
So for the movies, I still don't care much for the character. However, I find them more of like just comedies. So I do just go in just expecting to laugh, and I'm there for the jokes. Like I'm there just to have fun and enjoy it. So it's nothing like, for the movies, for Deadpool, it's nothing like, at least to me, it's nothing on the level of like the MCU kind of stuff. Like I'm not looking forward to it in terms of the MCU. I look forward to it because I want to laugh, but that's about it.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of people don't know this, but what is Deadpool's weakness?
I don't know.
Weakness. Oh crap! I used to know this.
Love. I'm just gonna go with
no.
love.
You're gonna be like, well, really?
Go ahead, because I know as soon as
All
you
right.
say it, I'm gonna be like, of course.
Deadpool's weakness is if you mention to him that he's just a character from Marvel, because he knows that he is. He talks to you in 4th person.
Yeah.
If you mention that to him, he gets very depressed.
Yeah.
Very, very depressed.
Yep.
And he copes with it by messing with other people in comic books. Because
Yep.
he doesn't want to know that he is.
That's true.
And Julaz is lurking.
Julaz is lurking. Thank you for the lurk, Jules.
Julaz.
So
that's why you see Deadpool always talking to us.
Yeah, so basically that's just my thought of Deadpool. Like, it's just and it's very similar to like Captain America. Like, I never really liked Captain America either. I just thought he was just a guy.
You don't like Captain America? All right, no, that's it. I'm taking off the gloves right now, bro.
He was just to me, he's always been just like a regular human, just infused with superhuman strength.
Regular human, a regular human that decides not to want to go into violence. All right, he doesn't want to go in there for the sake of killing. He just wants to serve his country. Okay, he takes the super soldier serum and becomes greater than what he could possibly have been as a human. He has that opportunity and he says, I want to make a difference. He gets sidelined. All right, I'm talking about First Avenger. A lot of people don't like First Avenger. I happen to love it. All right, so listen. The thing
so
with that,
should I not mention that I don't like that movie?
Listen. His whole journey has been wanting to do the right thing, from serving his country to then in the Winter Soldier, finding out that his country could be possibly working against the people that he is willing to defend with his life. That's where he starts losing faith in the system. The things that he believed in the past are just not coming into fruition now. Things have changed with the years. So by the time Civil War comes around, where they say, guess what? We're going to keep everybody on a leash. On a moral level and on a realistic level, yeah, that could happen. But for Captain America, he goes, if a real threat happens and we're not there to prevent it because governments and other people in charge want to keep us from it, who's benefiting out of that? The people that we're failing to protect, or the people that are keeping us on a leash like dogs? That's not the way to go. Captain America has always evolved with every movie because he ends up progressing as a character that wants to stand for what he believes in, no matter what. And for me, like, I've always enjoyed that. I've enjoyed him more than Iron Man, because Iron Man has always just been like, well, I'm going to do some shit. Here's some AI thing I'm going to mess with. Oh, shit, I created Ultron. Like, why? Why do you keep creating villains, Tony? Calm down. Stop. He's always
Yeah,
had
he
opportunities to just settle down, but he never does. That's the
yeah, in
only
every movie.
like in every movie he has done something to just
But it
mess
looks
things
cool.
up. But it looks cool. There could be a
Honestly,
case made for that. But yeah.
honestly, everybody should have listened to him though when it came to Thanos. There should have been a suit in every part of the world.
Yeah, because the whole thing with Ultron was originally he wanted to make a protection, a blanket,
Hmm.
across the world to
Hmm.
prevent them from any threat from coming through. But
Yeah,
Captain America overall, like I just feel like as a character, he wanted the things that he wanted, but never got it until he saw an opportunity and he went and took it and he did it. At the end of the day, he is someone who I feel like is the most relatable more than the Spider-Man is in this universe because he's a character that like I said, he wants to do the right thing always. And even when people that are on his team are not willing to work beside him, he still wants to do the right thing no matter what. And I think he is the most likable character out of everyone there. And he gets with Peggy. All right, come on,
And he
man.
gets with
Peggy's
Peggy.
great. Peggy's amazing. She's the most beautiful woman out of everybody there. I'm sorry. I just that ending shot of Endgame, I was on the verge of tears. I was like, yes. Beautiful. Amazing. Oh, dude, it was such a great. That was my fan service moment. I'm like, I've been wanting that ever since 2011 and I finally got it. So yeah, it was cool.
So you were on the edge of tears. So does that mean you were not crying when Iron Man died?
I we let's be honest. We all knew he was going to die, okay? Whether we know it or not, I don't think Disney was going to keep paying $50 million to Robert Downey Jr. to keep playing Iron Man. So, no, but in all honesty, like for that moment, like especially the funeral scene, I did get emotional because it was a cool callback to see what the end of that character and seeing what he brought with him because Iron Man was pretty much the catalyst, the main like cause of everything happening. And it was really cool. Like it was cool to see the entire cast of characters that have spawned just out of, Iron Man alone. And it was quite awesome to see how his journey went to end. Like it was cool. It was really cool. I don't think anyone is gonna get a proper send off more like Iron Man. Like it was a good how is it like bookend to his story.
Yeah, I definitely will always remember that character. I love Iron Man. So
let's say
even
he
if you
somehow
talk crap.
magically revive him.
No, let's not revive people anymore, please.
Yeah,
Can we keep them dead?
I love Iron Man, but keep him dead.
Yeah.
If not, like if you bring him back, it would just mean like his death was meaningless in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of
And
feel that
I
way with
mean,
Loki
I don't want it to
because
be the fact that I cried for nothing, okay?
there's always the What If series. Like,
Oh, that's true. Um, yeah, no, I was gonna say like for that whole like death being meaningless, I kind of feel that way currently with Loki because I felt like the way they took that character, the main goal from Infinity War was showing you how much of a threat Thanos was because you're taking the first villain from the first Avengers movie and you're killing him off just like that.
hydrate.
And he pretty much took out Heimdall and presumably Thor and Hulk. So right now you just know
Oh,
he's
sure.
nobody to mess with,
Me
bro.
too. Me too.
Yep. So
Yeah, I definitely agree there. However, the way I see it though, Loki is still dead. The
yeah,
only reason why he's back, quote unquote, is just because of the like, going back in time and taking the Tesseract and all that stuff. So he's basically at this point in a parallel universe.
sense.
he's still
But he's
dead.
still not the
But
he's not the one that he is at that point. You know what I'm
exactly,
saying?
so he's still
He's
technically the
not going
villain.
through. Yeah, yeah. I don't
So
know.
it's
You know
I
not
there
feel like
was
that's my
it's
thing.
not
I
the
don't know how
Loki
I
that we
feel
know.
about that.
you know there was a series. I mean, a theory. When Infinity War ended up in coming out and all, someone has said that Loki actually switched places with Hulk, and that was the reason why Hulk couldn't beat Thanos at the time, and Loki actually like had a clone of himself to act as if Thanos killed him. There's a theory going around saying that. So maybe Loki didn't die, and Loki actually put Hulk on the had Hulk go back to Earth, and Loki's actually somewhere else doing his Loki thing.
That seems like such a convoluted way
Yeah,
to get stuff done.
it wouldn't work either because like if I'm correct, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe Loki's like illusionary powers actually give him like the strength of Hulk. So I don't think
No.
he would have been able to go toe to toe with Thanos.
No, the
Well,
most he's ever
that's
done has been duplicate himself, and that's like he can take the form of other people, but in terms of powers and stuff, I don't think he's capable of doing that because
yeah.
he did do Odin at some
Mhm.
point, but he wasn't. Yeah, he
He
didn't really
wasn't
do anything.
Odin.
Yeah,
That's
he
the reason
wasn't
why.
Odin.
That's the reason why I said that with Hulk, because Hulk wasn't no match for Thanos at the
No, but
time.
he still punched him like quite a bit. He broke parts of his armor.
Yeah,
Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but, or
It's
maybe Loki
it's,
was just not there at the time, and he just had a clone there.
it's an interesting theory, but I don't think it would have worked.
yeah. I don't think it carries much weight because the main purpose of that scene is to show that Thor loses his brother, and it gives the motivation for Thor to act revenge against Thanos because he ends
Hmm.
up killing his best friend and his brother in the span of like 5 minutes.
Half brother.
So half brother, yeah.
Well,
Well, I mean,
Hmm.
let's be honest, he considered him his brother at
Yeah,
that
yeah,
point.
yeah.
So yeah,
Maybe no wait, actually, because you remember that Thor did talk about how there was hell, and everybody that would die usually doesn't go back to hell. They don't go to hell. Anybody that's from Asgard usually goes to, I forget the name of it, Valhalla.
yeah.
So maybe Loki's actually in Valhalla.
Possibility.
All gods from oh my god, Asgard always go to Valhalla.
I
I
feel
don't know.
like with I don't know, I feel like with him in particular, the way that because I saw the trailer for it, I just think wherever he ended up going to, the question I have is that whole thing with the Tesseract and all that. Like, I just feel like if if they did get rid of the stones, do the stones pretty much still exist? Because he went to take them all back. You have that branching timeline, so I don't know. I don't know if the stones still exist to some capacity. I don't know. It's the same
I
with
would.
WandaVision because you would say a piece of the Mind Stone still lives
Yeah,
with her. It's kind of weird.
yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I think it depends. Like, in some way, they still exist because she does technically have part of the Mind Stone still,
Yeah.
and within her own little universe, like within Westview, she was able to create Vision with theoretically like a Mind Stone on his head. It wasn't a real one, but it
Yeah.
definitely acted like one
So
because he had
technically,
all
it
of the
should have
powers
been
of
the
it.
reality one. It should have been the reality
Yeah,
stone, but that's different.
but like it still acted like a stone, basically. So
Yeah.
that's interesting, though.
I wonder how they're going to like I said before, I'm just wondering where they're going to take everything. Like, what's it gonna lead up to? Because I feel like right now it's the time to kind of like incorporate, like, finish off whatever stories they have for certain characters, while at the same time introducing new ones who are going to continue the series. So we'll see.
You know
We'll
what I'm
see.
wondering though? with everything
Wow.
that they're introducing and how everything's gonna flow, it makes me wonder what is going to be the final movie.
I think the only reason why we'll ever get a final movie is when the audience just no longer has a demand for it. It has been going really strong, but even that discussion was done last year with certain podcasts that I listened to and YouTube videos, because you have to end up thinking to yourself, what other stories can you tell? What becomes a bigger threat than Thanos, than Galactus, and this and that? I think the main the course you can take with them is pretty much having, not so much having them fight each other, but have one of them want to do something that will frame them into being a villain, just like with Wanda, for example. She wants to bring her family back, but she has to like really do something that will cause a lot of damage to the world, but she's willing to do that because that's what she truly wants. Then I could see them taking that route because that's really something they can do. But I don't know. It's like as soon as the public interest is gone with something like that, you could bring it around with like video games, right? Like how many times has something come along and changed the industry with something like, I'll give a quick example, like Dark Souls. Dark Souls is a game that you have so many imitators of. So many imitators. There's a lot of people say, "Oh, it's like a
Some
Souls
would say
game."
too many.
Exactly. Right?
Suck it up.
And you have something like that, and along through the years, it's like the focus goes away from Dark Souls, and it's like, oh, it's Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is a great game, and then you have all the imitators into that too. A good example, because I know you could probably relate, Roz. It's like Assassin's Creed. It deviated away from being an Assassin's game into now, oh, we're doing Vikings and we're doing monsters and everything else, and it's like, what the hell? But it's trying to follow the formula of Witcher 3 because of, oh, it's a big open world, you got these connecting storylines and everything, and it's like it wants to head that direction instead of what it was. But you'll always have something like that in the industry, something that wants to, that a lot, it's going to have a lot of imitators, and imitation is the biggest compliment you could get, so I don't know. I feel like at some point when people start losing interest in it, because then they start going like, oh, what's going to be more impressive? It's like, oh, now it's a multiverse theory, and we're going to go all this, we're going to show all these different things. I don't know. Like I want them to stay in the cosmic realm of things. I want the more like mystical side of it, because I feel
Hmm.
like stories on Earth have become very like blah at this point. They've done all they really could, so I kind of want them to venture off into space. And yeah, because to me, Guardians of the Galaxy is honestly my favorite like team. I love Guardians, but
Uh,
like, but
Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead, go ahead, go
yeah.
ahead.
It's just
Because
I just really want them to keep exploring that aspect of the universe.
Space, the
Um,
final
so-
frontier.
Frontier.
now that we're on the concept of or yeah, the concept of Guardians of the Galaxy, um, with them doing what they're doing with Spider-Man, Lemon.
I'm sorry. Goodticker said at the end it will merge with the Star Wars universe.
Canon.
No.
Maybe the Alien universe too,
Hell no.
because now it's canon. No, I'm
Hell
just
no.
kidding.
I even
Um,
put in chat, I'm like, please no. Last thing I need is a fight between freaking Palpatine and who else? And Iron Man or something. Who cares? I don't know. They'll do something crazy like that.
the whole thing with now that they're doing the whole thing with Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse now, because it
Mhm.
confirmed it, the fact that we also got all the other Spider-Man movies that from Sony, that gives me hope that they're gonna bring Venom back into the MCU, and in
Yeah.
doing so, they're gonna bring, because there was a comic book where Venom actually took over the whole entire Guardians of the Galaxy crew just
Yeah.
to get back to his home planet, which is not a planet, by the way. It's a bunch of symbiotes completely encasing someone in the very center, which is, I can't remember his name. He actually used to rule the universe, and he used to kill gods back in the day, the Celestials.
Wow.
And I'm hoping because he's actually a big major like villain in the actual comic books, and I'm hoping they bring him into light. Apparently, Venom went back over there to kill him, and I don't think he succeeded.
You know who should be close to the final boss?
Oh God, what?
Franklin Richards.
Franklin Richards.
He is
Who's that again?
Reed's
The
son.
Yep.
He is a kid that just because he was bored, one night decided to just like build like a blanket fort or whatever, and just materialize a universe in the palm of his hand.
Is that what God did when he was bored? That's my question.
Like, I'm just gonna build a blanket fort, and boom, here we have Earth. Here we have
Oh gosh.
that like, if they ever go that far, like that far into the timeline that they introduce Franklin Richards, I would like to see a side of when he becomes like slightly villainy, because that would be an interesting fight.
It would be. Would be. You
So-
know what I really want?
Maybe.
What
I
do you want?
really want the if the X-Men do come back, I just don't want Wolverine to be the main focus. All right, it's Cyclops. I'm kidding.
Exactly. No kidding. No kidding. It's Cyclops.
I don't
Cyclops
know.
is the main man. He always was.
Yep.
I don't know why the hell like they ever made Wolverine be the main man. Like, I get it. Hugh Jackman, he was amazing
great.
at it.
He was amazing at
great.
him, yeah.
But like, Cyclops was the main man. Like, he leads the X-Men.
Not so much that, it's just it's a team. It's a team of character-driven people that, they are looked at differently, but at the same time they're the heroes of of the story. They
Yeah.
are the ones that do the right thing, and I think once you incorporate that into the MCU, like, you could gain more interest back into like what happens on Earth, introduce the Magneto again, and have that whole fight again. That you can. There's so many things that they can still do, which is why I feel like the hype train for that never ends. So I feel like it's gonna be really cool to see what comes up with the next couple years. I still think they have possibly maybe 5 more years of stuff to do, because it hasn't slowed down. Like, we'll see what movies come out and what content comes out that will keep us interested, at least. But I did want to ask, what is one, like, if you guys have any, what is one thing that you just haven't liked from the MCU, or something that you feel like it's more like a criticism?
Like overall, like a movie.
Overall, or from a movie, or anything that you guys can think of that has kind of either bothered you, or something that hasn't left your mind, like, I didn't like that they did this, or I don't know why they did that.
I'll let Snowfuzz go first.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head, honestly. I can't think of anything, honestly.
I think you
Not
had one
very
where it was like, I think you're just not liking the filler as much, right?
Well, yeah, the whole thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then the upcoming movie Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just trying to fill the void and all that. Because, like, Black Widow, I get it. We're gonna get backstory on her, but what's the point if she's already dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did. She did.
Yeah, now that you say that, like, why are we getting Black Widow?
Just so we can just see Tony Stark's pretty face again. Is it? Is that the reason why? Because I have a feeling that's the only reason why people are gonna watch that movie, just for Tony Stark.
A lot of reason why they wanted to do the Black Widow movie for a long time, but they didn't. There was a lot of backstage politics. The guy who was in charge of like the TV media and had some like say into what the movies were going to, up until I think Civil War, because that's where it all kind of came to a head. Was like he didn't want Iron Man in the movie because Robert Downey Jr. was asking for a lot of money, but Kevin Feige stepped in and he went directly to Disney and to Bob Iger and all them and said, "Look, this has to happen." And the fact that at our department they don't want to shell out the money to pay for this actor that I like, we already have this established. This is what people want as well because it'd be a good payoff. Like, we need this actor in, and that's when Disney stepped in and said, "Well, Kevin Feige, now you're in charge of all that." And now that he took the reins, we've had more of Captain Marvel. We're gonna have more projects that are gonna have the female-led protagonist. We got announced for Ironheart now as well, and I think there's a couple other projects with like She-Hulk as well. And Black Widow was supposed to be something that came out. I just don't understand why it's coming out now after the end of her story. I don't know what else you could possibly do
Yeah, they
besides
really messed up on
maybe
that.
having like the sister character or whoever that person is with her, that she has a connection with, kind of like take the mantle after or so, or just show up later in the story. I don't know. Um, but it's gonna be something that I know it's been coming for a long time, but for some reason or another they just kind of delayed it. That's the main reason why it's
Bells,
coming out now. It's just,
bells.
you know,
Yeah,
hello, Hell's Bells. Hello.
for me, I think the only thing that bothers me slightly, which is not very much of it, like very slightly, because I still love it and I still watch them, but it's basically the fact that we go from like every once in a while we go like, okay, individual characters and then a team, and then individual characters and then a team, and then individual characters and then a team. Like after you do like the whole team films, like I kind of want to keep seeing that stuff. Like
Yeah.
that's why I'm sort of like excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that's why I was originally excited for WandaVision, because they are individual characters, but they're still like a team. So I'm like, okay, there's still a team variant there. They're still working together and fighting whatever is gonna happen. Now, given WandaVision wasn't much of a fight, but it still had that team aspect. Like it kind of bothers me how they go like after Endgame, for example, and having so many
Can't really say.
characters fighting together. Like how are you gonna give me Endgame and then go back to like just Spider-Man, for example? Like I love
Right.
Spider-Man, but I want to see now, like I want to see more of you know Captain Marvel fighting with Black Panther, which unfortunately that's not gonna happen. But I want to see that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like I want to see more. Like if Spider Man's in there, Spider Man fighting Falcon, Winter Soldier. Like I want to see more of that stuff. Like I know it's gonna be difficult because you can't always put a villain there so that you can probably like pit against them, but it's kind of difficult for me to stay so focused and excited about a film after I basically seen Endgame. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that would be like what kind of bothers me a little bit. Like I'm still gonna watch them because it's Marvel and I want to know their story, but it's
Yeah.
just I'm not gonna be as excited as I was with Endgame
Right.
until they do like the next thing. Like I don't know if it's gonna be Secret Wars or Eternals or wherever the
Secret
hell
Wars
we're
is
gonna
where a
have
lot of
everything.
people think Secret Wars is the next step, but I mean, that's true. That's kind of why the discussions of what I talked about a little earlier about like, is anyone feeling the Marvel fatigue yet? You know what I mean? Like, because there's only so much you can do at a given point. Like, for example, Endgame happened, and literally a few months later, we had Far From Home, which is why I feel like I didn't really enjoy it for that aspect, because I'm like, I feel like this is too soon, and number two, I feel like the character's not really feeling like he went through that extreme journey. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because that changes you, and that's why I'm like, I get it. It's a superhero movie. You got to take it for what it is. It's a blockbuster movie, but like me personally, I just felt like he needed to feel a little more change than just like, holy crap, this is like what I do now, right? Like
A
he still
little bit
wants to be
more
a
like Iron Man after New York.
yes, exactly. I don't need him to be like a shivering mess or anything, but I need him to be like, if he doesn't want to deal with threats at all, like have him do it and then struggle with the fact that he made that choice and go like, crap, I have to do this, I have to do that. How am I going to deal with this? There's not really a struggle is what I'm trying to say. I feel like it's more like a, oh, he can't, he's nervous because he's not talking to the high school girl that he wants to talk to. Like, oh, bendito. Like, no, like, come on. Like, there's something more happening to him, but I get it because they want to keep him relatable. But at the same time, you're having him freaking go into interstellar travel. Like, what are we doing, guys? But I love
Exactly.
it. I still enjoy it. You got to take them for what they are, and that's what I feel like. You know, that's where people just kind of have to say like, okay, it's not gonna be the most serious movie ever, but I do like when they incorporate those serious themes because I feel like it propels the character to become someone more memorable and someone more important as the series goes on.
Yeah. Have you thought of yours yet, Snow?
Not really. I don't know. I don't really have anything.
You just
For
love
that.
everything Marvel.
Majority of it, yeah.
All right, all right. I guess we can take that. I definitely love the majority of Marvel. As I've said already, like I love everything they do, and at this point, after WandaVision, I'm in. I'm in for the ride, man. I don't care what you throw at me. You throw at me another Captain America, well, guess what? I'm watching it.
Hells does have an interesting point. I don't know if you want to go over that, Rod.
Let me see here.
Mm,
In terms of everyone who's just listening, Hells does say, I like watching the individual movies as I like learning about their story and how they got to where they are. However, it's just not feasible to release individual movies on everyone at the same time. So I feel like it's why they release an individual movie, then a team movie, individual team, and so on. What do you guys think? That's why I like the team up movies a lot more, with like Ragnarok having Thor and Hulk together, right? Like
Yeah, exactly.
and Spider-Man had like Iron Man with him for a little bit as well. Like I want them to go that route. Like if you're gonna have more individual focused movies, still have someone partnering up with them, just to kind of
Yeah, like
give progression on both characters instead of just one.
after
like
Endgame, we basically introduced, or not introduced, but brought in like what was it, like 26 or something characters in one fight. Like, I'm not expecting you to give me a movie from every single character. Put them together if you want. I don't care. But just it's strange, or at least for me, like to go from something that's a team up movie to just focusing on one character, because I'm not gonna be too focused on that character. I'm gonna be watching their movie, but then at the same time thinking, okay, if this is happening, what is this person doing over here? Like with whatever was happening in, I think it was Far From Home. Like whatever was happening there, why couldn't like Captain Marvel or Thor or anybody like just come in and help them out?
They did
Like,
announce that they're like, oh, Captain Marvel, she's off world, and Thor unavailable. Like certain people
but they
weren't
come
available,
on,
but
like
they didn't announce everybody.
they got a
you know?
beeper. They got a beeper, man. Like just be like, hey,
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, we need you. I know you're probably like on vacation
Yeah.
or something, but like, hey.
Nick Fury knows something everybody else don't. He
Yeah.
he hid Captain Marvel for the longest time from everybody, and then out of
Mhm.
nowhere, when freaking Infinity War came out, at the very end of the end credits, Captain Marvel. All right,
Yeah,
we need her right now.
and that's where people were also having problems with it too, because they're like, really, for the invasion in New York, you didn't call Captain Marvel? for everything happening with Civil War and everything, you would want someone to just kind of come in and help out, but you never
Well,
did.
Yeah.
It's because Nick Fury wanted to create a point. That's why. He's like, if I can get my team to do what they need to save the world, then I can basically do this. But like once everybody just started dying randomly like that, and he was like, "Oh shit, time to bring in the big guns."
We're
You know?
fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yep.
he was like, "I hope she's still alive."
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah, that's just that's my problem with watching like a lot of the individual stuff. Like I enjoy them. I love them either way. But if it's not like a prequel, I'm gonna be questioning where the hell are all the other characters at. If it's not Captain Marvel, I'm gonna be asking where's Hulk, where's Thor, where's Captain America, where are these people? Like for Captain America and Winter Soldier, it might be a little bit more difficult because they can't necessarily fly. But like everyone else, like come on, there's people out there. Where they at? Where's Doctor Strange? He can literally rewind time and make things better again.
you know how like everybody, well, Hellsbells hasn't seen WandaVision.
Oh, WandaVision, yeah.
Yeah. Should I say it or should I not?
Well, we are in spoiler territory. I did let her know beware for spoiler.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, if you look at,
Or if you want to just paraphrase it, people that have seen it will know what you're talking about.
Okay, wait. Well, if you look at what happened with, if you look at I just read what she said. I'm sorry. If you look at what happened with Vision, as Thanatos was coming toward him and taking the Mind Stone from him, why the fuck didn't he do that? Well, like the whole thing with when he was fighting the other Vision, and the other Vision tried to take his stone. Why the fuck did he not do that during the time when Thanos took his stone? Was it because he was weak?
It could
Or
have
he
been.
just couldn't phase anymore?
It could have been, or maybe he just caught him off guard. Because remember, like they had kind of, in a way, done that fight before, and then time kind of got rewound back a bit. So
Yeah, even still, I mean, it might mess up the timeline if Doctor Strange does like reverse time, because the Sorcerer Supreme before him, she did mention that in the end game.
yeah, about
If you
all of the
mess with
lines,
time,
like
yeah, if you mess with time, it tends to go in a different direction, and it ain't even a timeline. It's just that dimension or that reality goes somewhere else.
yeah, basically like that reality continues, but you're just opening up a different reality somewhere else.
I have a feeling the Sorcerer Supreme's not really like gone. I think she's still
she's
around.
gone. She's gone.
You sure about that?
Oh, she's gone.
Because there's the I forget the name of that plane. The Astral plane. She might be in there.
I think she's gone because Doctor Strange is basically the Sorcerer Supreme here. Or now he basically is.
I mean, look at Wanda. She might be the next Sorcerer Supreme.
I mean, who knows? We'll have to see.
Dude, I'm so glad that they set that up for the next Doctor Strange. I mean, yeah, Doctor Strange. Why did I second guess myself there? I almost said Doctor Who.
Doctor Who? Oh boy.
Wrong
That'll be a
series.
whole different conversation.
I just
I'll
love
be
that
like,
they-
I don't know what he's talking about, and I'll be over here like just
I know a little bit. I know a little bit.
referencing. I'll reference like so many things from all the seasons, and people will be like, "What the hell?"
I think
I
I
just
know
like that
up
they set that
until season 5, maybe.
Hells, be prepared because they just mentioned, well, you guys don't agree here. I'm like, yay. There'll be a lot of things we may not agree here, but it
Oh,
makes
yeah.
for a good discussion. Makes for a great discussion about anything here.
Yeah, Captain America, The Lion King,
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Mars.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well, you don't want the Metroid.
man.
I always
We
love
don't
the fact that
want
we don't agree because it does make for great conversations and great discussions.
It does. It does. Oh,
Um,
man.
so for that, I'm definitely excited for what's coming. Now, in terms of video games and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys excited for? What are you guys playing? What are you doing?
Oh boy, what am I playing? I've been playing a lot of Smite.
Actually,
That's what I'll tell you.
right here. Let me see. And see my wish list.
As for me, I know I've been playing a good amount of Destiny ever since you guys kind of brought me back. I've been having a lot
I
of
got
fun with
dragged
it.
into there. Let me correct you real quick. I got dragged back, not back. I got dragged into that. So
I
I
didn't
have
do the
enjoyed it.
dragging.
I have enjoyed it. Yeah, no. Everybody just jumped ship, and I'm like, great. And I guess I'm going.
I was
God, what is
honestly
it?
just surprised whenever you got in there. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, Danny got Destiny. All right, cool. But
What's the name of that? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. What's the name of that one game that's supposed to be the creator of Dead Space?
I have no idea.
Dang. Forgot the name of it already.
See if I can.
The only thing I'm remembering is the one from Left 4 Dead, like the successor of Left 4 Dead. What is it? Back for Blood is it called?
Yeah,
Something
Back
like
for
that?
Blood.
Pragmata.
Yeah.
Pragmata looks interesting too. I gotta see more of it, but it does look interesting.
It just looks like a like Hideo Kojima teamed up with the producer of Dead Space, and like their minds just went elsewhere. Because the whole thing actually really threw me off when we were watching it for the PlayStation reveals and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It really threw me off. I was like, "What direction is this thing going? Is it all just a like a simulation or something, or is it just gonna be one of those types of games where you just like you're at a freaking mind trip?"
Yeah, I do know. I'm excited because it's from the developers of Dead Space, but since I don't know too much about it, I can't be too excited for it. Like other than that, because all I saw was that one trailer, and I'm like, okay, we'll see what we have here.
Mm-hmm. I did hear something about the guys that actually worked on it, not the actual producer, but the guys that worked on it. They're actually making a side horror game again. That's also going to be in space again, but this time with a lot more gruesomer take than Dead Space did. And it's going to be a survival horror. It ain't going to be one of those. I mean, Dead Space was a survival horror, but this time around it's going to be first person.
And there you lost me.
You didn't hear about that one?
I just don't do too much like first person horror stuff. I mean, they're fun. Some of them are good, but I like more the third person stuff.
Like Outlast?
Like Outlast.
Oh no, I have a camera. Oh my gosh, look at these crazy creepy things. Oh no, they're naked.
Oh no.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
Oh, here's a topic that Roscoe doesn't like: security breach. Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh boy.
How about that?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I'm definitely not excited for that one. I can definitely see how some people can be excited for it though, as it's basically like a different style Five Nights at Freddy's, so I can definitely see it. But for me, I've never been into that universe, so for me it's just okay. It's just another Five Nights.
Enjoyed though, and now that you've switched to like PS5 and all that, has there been an exclusive title that has really like blown you away so far, or are you kind of like still waiting for a certain title, or
For
still looking forward to it?
I know
PS5.
everybody's waiting for Hogwarts.
Yeah.
The closest one that I would say, like, it was amazing. It didn't like blow me away because it wasn't anything like totally new. But the
Right.
Miles Morales game for PS5, which was also
PS5.
for PS4, but the way like, because everything about that game, not in terms of story, but just the way it looks, the way it sounds, like you're just swinging through New York and all that, and or not New York. Where was he at again? Queens, right?
Queens.
Queens.
You're swinging through Queens, and then you you in the far distance you just hear like a random car honking or whatever, and if you have like good quality headsets, you can actually kind of hear like some people yelling out like the buildings and stuff. Like it's just the way they made the environment for that game and the way it looks. Because even when you're swinging around, if you stop and look at Spider-Man himself, like you can tell the leather on his suit, and you can tell like you can see each individual like dot or whatever, like
Yeah.
each thread
Every
basically.
stitch. Yeah,
Yeah,
every
every
stitch in
stitch,
it.
every
Yeah.
thread, like it just looks incredible. And I would say so far that would be the one that like basically blew me away. Um I did recently get Demon Souls, the remaster or the remake. I don't know what you want to call it,
Yeah.
but I got that because my brother just got a PS5, so we're gonna be playing that together. But that one supposedly really shows the potential for the PS5, so I'm kind of excited for that one. So we'll see how that goes.
Dude,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like super excited for the Ratchet and Clank game.
Yes.
Oh
That's
yeah.
coming out in 2 months, man. And I'm like,
Yep.
oh,
Yeah, I've been replaying the Ratchet and Clank game like for PS4. Uh, I've been replaying it again, and so far in the past 2 weeks, I've beaten it twice already. Because I just need two more trophies, and I get a platinum on it. But I've been replaying it, and it's just getting me more excited for a Rift Apart. Like a Rift Apart just looks amazing.
so like, what direction are they going right now? Are they trying to do a huge reboot or?
I don't know. Like, as far as we know, like we don't know too much of the story for Rift Apart. The only thing, as far as like the trailers, the only thing they've shown is just that something's going on or somebody's doing something where it's creating tears in the time and space. So that's why they keep jumping in like through time and through space and all that. But I'm curious because they show another Lombax, and it's a female one this time around. But Ratchet is supposed to be the last Lombax alive, and given with the time jumps, maybe that's not a thing anymore. But he was also like the last time that we met a Lombax, he wasn't too much of a good guy either. So like I'm kind of curious to see like how this Lombax is this time around.
Well, I remember when I watched the movie actually, but his mentor did say he has absolutely no idea where he came from. Ratchet doesn't know where he came from, so
Mhm.
maybe he's actually not from that dimension.
Maybe.
So maybe that's what this game is trying to point out. So by Clank going into the dimension of the female Lombax, maybe the Lombax in that dimension are abundant instead of where Ratchet is right now.
Yeah, so I'm definitely excited to see more of that. The one that has me like at peak excitement because it just looks beautiful, and I just love the gameplay of how it is so far is the. Correct me if I'm saying it wrong, but I think it's Kana Bridge of Spirits or Kana Bridge of Spirits.
Kana?
Yeah,
I'll tell you right now.
that one looks like it's going to like make the PS5 perform to a
That is max.
quality peak. Yeah, like
Yeah.
not, I wouldn't say it's mass because we haven't seen the PS5 at unlocked graphics or anything. They never usually do that this early. But in terms of like everything you play from PS4 and the stuff that we've played on PS5 already, like that one seems to have like the water physics, the foliage, everything just looks incredible. So I want to see how that is, and then also like the AI for like the little minions that you have. I don't know if they're minions or like little friends, like the little furry ball things that they kind of morph into something, and then that's how you attack.
Yep.
It looks like it has some interesting AI with them, so I'm curious to see that.
What are your thoughts about the new Hot Wheels game that got announced?
I have no idea about that.
You
I
have no
think they
idea about.
go. I think they go room.
I mean, yeah, in the very beginning of the trailer.
I have no idea about the
They
Hot
both
Wheels.
do it good. No, it looks like
What about you guys? What are you guys excited for?
Honestly, the only one that has caught my interest has been pretty much Resident Evil 8, just because I like the aesthetic of it all.
Yeah, you
Really,
do.
besides the vampires, shut up. Besides the vampires and the hot vampires, but anyway, I don't know. The one that did get my interest too was Outriders, and seeing you guys play it. I haven't played the demo to be honest, but like seeing what it looks like, I'm like that. On a PS5, I bet that once everything's ready and set to go, I think that looks like a fun game to try out. Because
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
I
definitely
mean,
getting it.
I don't know if you went into like entirely like what you feel about it, because I know you streamed it the other day, but like what else have you had any new thoughts on it or anything like now that you've reflected on it a bit, do you feel like it was worth trying out or worth like possibly buying?
So I'm actually excited for it to come out. Like I actually excited to play more of it. I'm thinking of possibly replaying the intro just so I can kind of know exactly what's going on. Because like I
Right.
said previously, I have no idea what the story is about. The game is super fun, but I have no idea what the story is. So I think I might just replay just the intro just to know the story and then switch back to the main character because everything does carry over. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I'm actually really excited too. Like I love Gears of War. I love like the inventory management and the leveling up RPG style of Destiny that it has. And like it just looks fun and it looks like it's in some parts it's gonna take itself serious and then in other parts like some dude is just gonna get shot in the head for no reason. Like it's just
Yeah.
it looks interesting. I'm excited for it.
I didn't
I
hear the
think
title of the game.
Hmm?
I didn't hear the title of the game.
Outriders, the one that we played.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I absolutely love the what was the name of that class, man? The where I just like darted forward and just get behind enemy lines, just slow down time, slash, everybody explodes, and I just go back where you guys were.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it's gonna be a fun like team play game, and it looks cool. Like the way you can even because you can kind of do that in Destiny, but not to this extent. Like the way you can use that class, for example, to like slow down the enemy, and then have the pyrotechnic or the pyrokinetic guy just engulf everyone who's frozen in time just in fire, and then just well at them afterwards. Like it's just it looks like it's gonna have a cool team dynamic.
Look at Danny,
Have
majestic.
you tried out Maquette? Because I know that one was free on the PlayStation 5.
Which one?
I think it's called Maquette because they announced it along with Final Fantasy VII remake and all that. But that Maquette
Yeah.
game is for PS5.
I haven't tried it out yet. I do have it installed. I'm thinking of trying it out sometime next week, if anything. But I haven't
Okay.
tried it out just yet.
What the heck was the name of that game with the Monkey King? I forget his name. I could never remember the names, man.
Song Wukong.
Yes, that one is gonna be like a Dark Souls game. I can't wait to play that. So Wukong.
Son Wukong.
Yeah, for
Oh,
Sun
yeah.
Wukong, I'm not too excited for it personally because I hate the Monkey King. He has killed me way too many times in Smite that it has honestly
That's
just
spite, man. That's just spite.
no, but it has gotten to a point that I actually hate the character. So, so I don't like anything about the Monkey King like anymore. He hit me a little too hard. But
I was gonna say,
it does
enjoying it.
look beautiful, though. I will say the graphics do look amazing on it, but it's not gonna be something that I'm gonna play.
He's gonna eat his words. He always does.
Maybe I will. Who knows? Maybe I will. But what are you excited for, Danny? What are you looking forward other than Resident
Um,
Evil 8 and vampires stepping on you?
Honestly, I've been trying to go over the games that I've bought over the years because I like have always played most of the same stuff, or at least the stuff that I've been always wanted to play. But along the way, I get from like the deals on PlayStation or whatever, I always keep collecting games, and I haven't tried them all out yet. But there's one I want to get into called Metro, because I had bought the bundle that
It's
has Metro
Metro's good.
2033 and Metro Last Light.
Yeah, the Metro
So I want to
Redux.
try those out.
Yeah, the Metro series
Yes.
is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I really want to get into those. I have it downloaded. I just haven't started playing them yet. But yeah, I want to try that out. I know there's another one where it's called Exodus. I have to play that one too. Those are the ones that I'm looking forward to the most as far as what else I've been playing. You guys know I've been playing a lot more Smite recently, or if not, we get into Warzone. I've been getting into Divinity as well.
What do
And
you think
we
about
streamed that.
Divinity?
Divinity is such a good game. I played it a long time ago and I had no idea what to do, where to go, how everything worked. So I kind of progressed to where I thought I was supposed to progress, but then I realized, oh crap, I have to really play this game differently. And I've always wanted to play with you, Rods, and with anyone else who wanted to play with us. So like now that I'm playing it again, I'm like, okay, I get the idea of what I want to do, who I want to be, how I want to use my skills. And I think it's so much fun because it literally is taking a Dungeons and Dragons like aspect and like putting it into a game. And I know there's other ones like Pillars of Eternity, and there's a couple. Is it Baldur's Gate as well? I think there are other ones, but I just feel like Divinity just hits all the right notes, at least for me. I haven't tried out the other ones, but I do feel like it's introducing me into a genre that I really want to get into with the turn-based aspect. Because I have played other ones like Persona 5 and other RPG games where it is turn-based, but I don't know, Divinity just has a nice aesthetic to it all, and I feel more of a badass doing stuff than in other games. But yeah. Oh,
Here's
actually, I
the
do have a game I was looking forward to, Near Replicant, because I do like Near Automata.
Okay.
So yeah,
okay, I know what he's talking about.
yeah.
Okay, thoughts on the count them four Pokemon games that are coming out.
I do not play Pokemon, so I do not qualify for this discussion. I think whoever's enjoying them though and looking forward to them, hell yeah, like go all out on them. I won't be one of them, unfortunately. So I got other games to catch up on at the moment.
We still need to do that thing that we were talking about, Rods. The
yeah.
Pokemon thing.
We'll put it up on Discord if anything.
Just whatever the hell my tax returns comes in, I can probably do that.
Waiting for the stimmy to hit.
In terms of the Pokemon games, I'm excited for them. I don't know too much about like the new ones. In terms of the remake, it looks pretty. I feel like they didn't really change much though, but I'll play it again. And why not? It's Pokemon. I love Pokemon. I'm ready to go catch some more Pokemon.
Or play more
Just
Zelda
follow
while
it.
you're at it too. Wait, you don't have to play Zelda. You got Genshin Impact for that. If you want to play the open world Greenland.
Or play Immortals Phoenix, and then you got
There you
the best
go.
of every world.
But you see, that's what I was talking about earlier. It's imitation is the biggest form of a compliment, man. That's how
Yeah.
it is.
Which is definitely interesting that you bring up the Divinity did it well, like in terms of like it gives you like a little bit of everything. Because
Yeah.
before Divinity, like Pillars of Eternity and stuff, like it were similar to it. But a lot of games did not do that isometric turn-based style gameplay. They did more of the real-time stuff and
Yeah.
all that aspect. After Divinity, you see more of that style blow up to the point that Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 were turn-based because they were like D&D style, but they did not play anything like Divinity. They were completely a different style of game. Great games, but different. Baldur's Gate 3 it's currently in an alpha state, but it's playable if you definitely pay for it. It's on
Sick.
Steam, but it's basically if you took Divinity and you took all of the actual dice rolls from D&D and put them into Divinity, that is Baldur's Gate 3.
Did I?
Okay.
I know we've talked about this before actually, but I still think to this day there needs to be a game where you could just play it on console too, console or PC, doesn't matter. Where you can literally have your own plain base field or whatever, get your models or whatever. It comes with a game, right? But like D&D is what I'm trying to talk about right here. But like having your own campaign, making a campaign from the ground up, and actually having interactions, little like what Doom did, where you made your own maps and stuff, where you had interactions. Like once you go to certain areas, you had interactions and stuff. I would love for someone to make a game like that, where you're basically you are the DM, you're making the game and all, and then you have your friends come in to play on that server or whatever, and actually have a good actual campaign, and not having to go all the way to your friend's house playing. I mean, it's not the same, of course, but having to play D&D at your own, like the comfort of your own home.
It's very funny that you mentioned that because they basically already have that. It's called
Did they?
Divinity Original Sin 2 on
Oh my
PC.
God.
No, on PC. If you play it on PC, there is a Dungeon Master mode
Oh,
where
I
you
didn't know
can
that.
actually create an entire campaign, like Dungeons and Dragons, basically, and have your friends join in creating their characters of the Divinity. Like you get the same elf, you get the same whatever, but
Yeah.
you bring them into your campaign, and you have that one Dungeon Master playing the campaign for the rest of the crew. So there's moments when you can be in a fight against wolves or whatever, and then out of nowhere, if one of your players says, "I want to try and distract the wolf," you as the dungeon master can just pause that battle, and then the game automatically switches to like a conversation state where you basically like you're DMing. You can basically come up with whatever you want the wolf to kind of react, or you can just type it in. Divinity on PC.
Have you
That's
tried that out yet, Rod?
I have not, because I have nobody to play it with on PC other than Marky.
Aw.
Other than Marky and the Villa, though they are the only ones that play it on PC.
Gotcha.
But I have seen it, and the legend Matt Mercer has actually done like a D&D playthrough through Divinity with his friends, and that was definitely fun to watch. So
Oh yeah, then we possibly
they have that
gotta
out there.
Try it out. We gotta try that out then.
It's definitely
That does
interesting.
sound- Yeah, yeah.
I'm just hoping for like a game, like
That is a game, sir.
making. I mean, like making it. From
You
the
just gotta
ground
buy
up,
it on
like,
PC, and that's it.
just talking about, but like from the ground up. Hands rating with
Hands, thank you for the raid, my man. Thank you. I
Thank you,
appreciate that.
Hans.
I definitely appreciate that, my man. So yeah, that's definitely interesting that you guys did mention that stuff about D&D, because
I'll be right back.
It's definitely glorious. So, is there anything else that you're interested that's coming up soon? I'm double. Is there anything else that you're interested in that's coming out soon in terms of like the PS5 or anything like that?
To be honest, I mean, I think we're in that period where we're transitioning to like the newer generation. So I was gonna ask you like if you feel like it's kind of taking a different direction to what happened with like PS4 from PS3, you know? Like we got more exclusives and stuff out. I think because I don't want to say it feels too recent. I just think maybe it could be because of, COVID and whatnot, that things are possibly going to take a little bit longer to transition into the new generation, possibly, because I know a lot of projects got delayed. Halo Infinite being one of them. That one got delayed, like indefinitely, infinitely. But yeah, no, I think we're still in that process of like getting to more exclusives and stuff. I mean, I'm glad we're getting some stuff, but I don't know. So far, there hasn't been anything like screaming at me because me personally, I have a lot of games to catch up on that I want to play out
You
of
should see
my
my
own free
Steam
time.
catalog.
So, oh, dude, I'm telling you. Cause here I still play a game called Dead Cells. I got into Super Meat Boy recently. I still haven't finished Cyberpunk 2077. Got into even older games like Manhunt. I know I played Squadrons with you a while back. That one was fun. Um, but yeah, I mean, dude, I have way too many games. Too many games to catch up on.
Yeah, I definitely. I feel like we are still in that transition period, like you said, but I do feel still that like it is, now the current gen. Like it sucks that like you can't really find that many like PS5s out in the wild still, because I really do wish, as hard as it pains me to say this, I really do wish that the PS4 can start phasing out already.
Yeah, yeah.
So that we can actually get, everything on PS5 and they can focus on like all of the quality and performance towards the PS5 rather than developing, on PS4 and then focusing some aspects on PS5. Like I kind of
Yeah.
wanted to just be PS5 already.
Yeah, yeah. I just think the reason why probably a lot of it has kind of been getting delayed is because not a lot of people have been able to grab the PS5 just yet. Not only because of the situation, but the scalpers and anything. So yeah, that's kind of like I feel like it contributes as to why we haven't like fully gone into new gen yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I can definitely see that, but I just want it already. I want
I
current
know
gen already.
we gotta get there.
We'll see if we get it at. When do you think that we'll get it? Do you think like by the end of this year, or do you think like it's still?
I think around this time next year, we'll definitely start seeing more of that, especially when things start going a little more back to normal, if indeed they do go back to normal. Because I feel like there's gonna be this not so much a drought, but like there's gonna be that want that everyone like the audience is gonna want so much more once all this is over, and start going back to normal. Like I think people are already getting to the point that they're demanding something fresh and something newer. So whatever new projects come out, I feel like people want to disconnect from reality, like especially now. But I feel like with future projects, they're definitely gonna hit that right element of escapism because that's usually what games are. They're an escape of everyday life. So
I
I
can
mean, I'm looking
definitely.
forward. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I can definitely say like, especially with the crazy year that I'm sure all of us have had,
Yeah.
it's definitely an escape. Like video
Oh
games
yes.
are definitely a way to just get your mind off of things. Especially like doing things with like VR and all that stuff. I've been diving a lot into VR. Like it's incredible. Like just everything that they're doing.
Has there been one that's really like amazed you like VR out of all the stuff that you probably tried out already?
Like in terms of games or experiences. Like
Either or, if you want to share both.
I would have to say like Half-Life, man. Half-Life Alex.
Half-Life?
It has
Yeah.
been like the most amazing because it's not only does it have a story that most people care about because everybody cares about Half-Life mostly.
Yeah.
Like not only does it have a story that a lot of people care about, but it's also the most hopefully you can understand me when I say this, the most VR game.
Okay,
Like it
gotcha,
is
gotcha.
the game that you can interact with the most in terms of like picking up random stuff and throwing at enemies. You can like any way you move your hands and shoot and stuff, like the character will actually do it that way. Like
Right.
it's to the point that if you want to, and I've been doing this, like I carry around a bucket as a shield, and you can literally use the bucket as a shield against the enemies that are attacking you. Like
Hmm.
I've never seen a game, even in VR, where I can literally pick up a bucket or anything and use it as a shield, or even if I see a car door, just open it and just crouch behind it, and bam, that's it. Like it is the most interactive VR game I have ever played,
Yeah.
and it's just amazing. And that's why, like, I kind
Okay.
of want the PlayStation VR to get to that level
Right.
because the fact that the PlayStation VR, like, we have a cheaper, like, a cheaper like console compared to a PC, and you can just have the PS5 just run the VR game for you rather than buying an expensive PC and buying the VR on top of that.
Right.
So if you have the VR just run off of the PlayStation console, you should be fine. Like we
Highest
should be
spec.
able to like, play whatever you want essentially. But unfortunately the PlayStation VR is not at that level yet. Like I have the original PlayStation VR and it was nice. It was definitely nice when I first played it and had a lot of fun with it, but it's nothing like the Oculus so far. Like the Oculus is incredible.
Do you think that future titles should probably, or like as the industry goes on, like do you think they're going to incorporate more VR gameplay into the games themselves? Like I'll say for example, like you could still play the game through a controller, right? And like you
Yeah.
could still play it normally from like beginning to end on a controller just fine. But if they have a VR option, like let's say for example Squadrons that we
Hmm.
played, you could do that as well. Like, do you think games will probably start doing that, or do you feel like it's like taking on two different projects because VR gameplay is very different than playing on a controller?
So I can see more piloting or driving games doing that. Like I can
Right.
definitely see more of those games doing it because it's basically just a camera at that point. You just gotta, you know, make the character move his head whenever you move your head. That's basically
Yeah.
the general gameplay of piloting and driving games in VR. In terms of the other ones, like just a regular first person shooter or like sword fights or and all that, like I don't think we're there yet. I don't think VR has gotten to the point that it should be in most people's hands where you can say, okay, let's develop on both planes of the field. Like not that many people, even to this day, not that many people have VR yet. Like there's a lot of people I talk to that I'm like, oh my god, have you tried this game in VR? And they don't even know what VR is. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Do you live under a rock?
Yep.
So like I wish they would. I definitely wish that they would bring more VR titles, but I don't think we're there yet. We're getting to the point where it's getting a little bit more known, but it's like with the fact that it's not in everybody's household just yet, I don't think we'll get much in terms of like console VR just yet.
Right. I just think that with the budget that it demands, like I don't think you're gonna get like the high end, top quality stuff for it just yet. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's why
who
I
knows?
say like I wish that the PlayStation headset was like in terms of quality of the Oculus, because I could just imagine to have just my PlayStation running whatever VR game I'm playing and it looking like on the Oculus. Like if only Oculus would just partner with PlayStation.
But they all need their money, man.
I
That's just how
know,
it
I
is.
know, I know.
Isn't
That's
it
just how it is.
isn't that like Microsoft though?
No, it's Facebook.
It's Facebook.
Mhm.
I mean, Facebook did have a contract with um PlayStation at one point. I remember that.
They did for a while, but ever since that contract ended, like PlayStation even removed like all of the Facebook functionality from PlayStation, so I don't think we'll have that for a bit. But it would
sucks.
definitely be cool though. It would definitely be cool to have more VR titles. Like I want more people to experience VR because it's definitely like gaming is an escape for a lot of aspects. Like if you're, you know, down on the dumps one day or you just need a relaxing time after work or anything, like you can just game and it, 90% of the time it will help. But if only you can do that same thing and then just kind of go into VR and kind of just block out any external aspects and just be in your moment, like
Yeah.
that will help so much more for a lot of people.
I think it's weird too with VR being like incorporated more into like if it does end up becoming incorporated in the games,
If it do,
you would have thought it'd be now because there's a lot more first person games out there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
it's so strange to me because like I'm not saying there's hardly any like third person point of view games, but whenever you see like the bigger like hard hitting games that are like pretty much marketed out there, it's always like the first person point of view. I think a lot of people are wanting to do the whole like I want to step in those shoes, right? I want to be the protagonist and do all those things. So I don't know. I just think there's probably just not a high demand for like actually putting on the headset itself and like having some sort of like dedicated room to play it in. I think it's just I don't know, for some reason people are just not attracted to it. People they don't want to wear something on their head, but yet they freaking wear a headset all day. So
I
come on, man.
mean, if it gets to the point where SAO, if it gets like that, maybe people might end
Yeah,
up considering it.
I think it's like you got to have the right project with it.
Yeah,
Because
like
once you get like
I
a full,
think. Go ahead.
once you get a full I don't know when the hell the technology is gonna be here. Probably 10 years, maybe 8 years from now. But whenever we get the full brain dump into it, into
Yeah,
the virtual reality, that's when it's going to be more appealing to people.
yeah, that's basically where I was gonna go with. Like once we get like the whole full body stuff,
Hmm.
then maybe more people will kind of get into it. But the only problem with that is we need people to try out VR. We need people to give it a shot and see where it goes. But if there's no people to do that, we're not gonna get the full body.
Maybe when it gets to like maybe Ready Player One status, maybe it might get like that.
We'll just have to see. Have you tried
Oh,
VR,
yeah.
Danny?
I've tried it just a handful of times. It's not really something that like calls out to me, to be honest, because I feel like I don't know, like me personally, like it's really cool. I'm not gonna downplay it at all. I think it's a really, really cool form of playing a game. Especially like I tried it out once with a friend because he had it and he had what's it called, like Elite Dangerous on it,
Mm-hmm.
and he had me try it out, and dude, I was blown away. I'm like, dude, I would love to like just hear some cool relaxing music while traveling space and seeing the stars, whatever. Like there's so much there that you could do, but I feel like in terms of like the long term of VR, I think it goes for a niche audience, and to be quite honest with you, I don't think it's something that for me, at least the way it is right now, I don't think it's something that it really connects to me because I don't think there's the proper titles for it. There's nothing really there that says, "Oh my God, I got to get one now," right? So
Yeah.
that's just where I'm at with it. But I love the aspects of just interacting with the world. I've seen the other uses for it, like when they have VR footage of like hiking up a mountain or looking, outside of like an airplane and just seeing all the cool vistas and everything. Like there's some really cool stuff that you can do in VR, and I wish they would like double down on that to sell it more, right? Because I mean, in reality, you want the industry to thrive more. You want more innovation. You want to continue the legacy of what video games are and what they can provide. So I think honestly, um, there's still some work to do, but I do feel like it will get there. They will reach another stage where more people will become interested in it. All they need is just the right time, the right project. That's all they need.
Definitely. We will definitely see where we go in the VR. Like, I still say we have another like 5 years until we see something like incredible kind of upgrade. Because VR is a slow and steady pace.
Oh yeah.
When I first tried it, it was at a convention, and that was like nearly 17 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was like when the Oculus was in alpha. So that was interesting.
That's all I can say.
Elon Musk.
That's funny.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with Elon Musk.
You already created a mind chip.
We're going to the moon, boys. Oh, we're going to Mars, yo. That's the next thing. I think that's where we're going next. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Could you
Mars. It's
imagine?
definitely Mars.
Could you just imagine, like you're being contracted to be the first person to live in Mars? Like, that's gotta be insane.
And then
You know what
destiny happens.
You know what their
Definitely
plan
out
is?
of this world. No, I'm kidding.
You know what their plan, NASA's plan is for Mars colonization?
What is it?
First, they're gonna have astronauts go out there and all that, colonize and all. But for the atmosphere to be breathable, what they're gonna end up doing is melting the ice caps on both polar and south, or north and southern ice caps. They're gonna melt it, and by doing so, it's gonna create moisture in the air, which will also cause it to turn into oxygen eventually. They're also gonna put plants. They're gonna try to see if our plants work over there in Mars to see if the trees will actually grow over there. And it that happens, by doing so, we'll be able to actually have everybody from Earth or whoever wants to move from Earth to Mars finally live over there.
Gotta be wild to just one
It's
day be
it's
like, you know
crazy.
what? I don't want to live on Earth anymore, and just
I saw a
blast
freaking
off into
documentary on that
Mars.
shit, and it's nuts.
Yeah,
Like,
it is nuts.
hey
man.
man, I won't be here tomorrow. I'm moving. Oh, where you moving to? Like down the road? Oh no, bro,
No,
Mars.
Going to fucking Mars. Later, everybody.
What was the name of that movie? With Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day? I can't remember. Total Recall.
Total Recall. Yeah.
Total Recall.
Yep. Jesus, to live on Mars, dude, that's gotta be wild. Yo, I'm heading over to your place. All right, cool. When you get here, I don't know, probably in a few months. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, I'm going to Mars. Oh, okay, cool, awesome. Can't wait to see you here, bro. You get there, you're like with a full beard already, and just. Why couldn't you shave the beard? Oh, they didn't have someone on the plane to shave it off. Oh, okay, damn. No one can
You're in
shave up my hair,
hypersleep, man. You're cryostasis.
Dude, that's gotta be wild. We're reaching that point where we only see that in sci-fi movies, bro. We're reaching that point.
Yeah. And speaking of going to
When we
another
get there.
world, let's go ahead and go with the topic that Danny threw in last night. If we could choose to visit for a solid month or two, which video game world would you travel to?
For a month?
Maximum 2 months.
To like venture throughout the whole world and maps, everything.
Jesus. I like a lot of them, but a lot of them are gruesome. I don't know.
Is this
You can't
given
even go
that we
to
survive it?
you can't even go to freaking Minecraft without being blown up by a fucking creeper. So I can't even imagine. I don't even
um,
know, dude. I'm gonna just look at a game
hmm.
list. I'll get. Look at my games list, like, cause I don't even know.
I would probably go with. I'd probably go with like the world of Final Fantasy X.
Really?
Do you get the
Okay.
powers
Yeah.
and everything? Is that one of the
I mean,
perks or?
I'm assuming. I'm hoping so. I'm not just gonna go in there and be like this random human being. Like,
Okay, so if that's the case, then Onimusha for me.
but no, I would definitely like. I think I would choose like Final Fantasy X because that game has a lot of like beautiful environments, and I would love to see like you can imagine like you're just going down the road or whatever, and then you just get to the beach and you just see like the ocean of like Besaid Island. Like that would just be beautiful. And then that on top of that, like playing Blitzball. Like, come on, man. You cannot go wrong with Blitzball.
Blitzball.
Yeah, it's basically like underwater soccer / football. And you can breathe
What?
underwater.
Not bad,
No,
not bad.
you guys don't know Blitzball?
I have
Really?
never. No, I'm not. No.
Well, I would definitely go to there, and then like if I'm able to have like any of the summons that's like and all that, I would like to have like Valley 4 basically let me get a ride from him and just fly across the ocean and all that.
Okay.
Hopefully I don't get attacked by like a random enemy, but
One can only hope.
What about you guys? Where would you go?
I think like, I put a lot of thought into it because I have played lots of games that have beautiful visuals and whatnot over the years. But I have to be honest with myself, and I know this is gonna sound like pretty basic at first because I know people either have not stopped talking about it or get tired of talking about it. But Skyrim, I think, would be a world that I would love to visit because I've visited it so many times already that it's like, I don't know, man. There's just something about it. Like, I keep going back to this, right? When has there been like so much? So like when I've talked a little bit ago about like imitators, right? For something like Skyrim that has been that open world fantasy world, right? Like, I don't know if there's ever been a game. There's definitely games that have better gameplay, better mechanics than Skyrim. But in the way that Skyrim was sold to everybody, right? Has there been really a game that has had much more impact than Skyrim has? Like,
No, because no game opens up with the theme song or Skyrim, and then a random dude screaming at a dragon, "The King!"
yes, yeah, yep. It's so like,
Like, yeah, you
I don't
just want
know,
to
man.
full roll
It's just
die
that
everywhere,
world,
bro.
though. What happened? What happened?
You just want to full roll die everything, man.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I think the main thing about that game is just the overall, like, that feeling of freedom, right? You're going into this other world and dude, you could do anything there. You want to just start raiding caves and going underground, or you want to go to different towns and stir shit up, you could do any of that. It's like, it's that type of game that just says, "Hey, the world is here. Go. We're not going to hold your hand. Just go and do whatever you want." I mean, now we're at a point where a lot of games are like that, but I feel like that one was the one that has, every time I go back to it, I still get that feeling of just doing whatever I want without like, oh, don't do this without doing that. Oh, you can't go past here. Like, no, you could go wherever you want. And if you're missing something, it's like you could eventually land back into it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much to do. And I like that. I like the random events that could still happen with like the dragons showing up or getting ambushed by whoever. Like it's a world that has a beautiful landscape, beautiful things to look at. You know, whether it's dragons and the danger of it all. Like, you know, it's still cool. I don't know. I feel like that'd be a world that I would just love to see and walk through and just take that all in. You know.
I could just imagine you like take whatever portal you're going to get to this world. You step in and then immediately.
Yep, immediately this little dragon just swoops me up and I'm dead. Yep. I just hope if I do die in that world that I do die with the physics of Bethesda engine.
and at the
And
end
just
of
go,
it,
"Wah!"
at the end of it, once your body drops, you actually go to Sovngarde.
Oh my gosh, that'd be great. And
So you
also
just
because
spawn in.
I do want to meet Ayla the Huntress. That for sure. I would love to just talk to her about, you know, anything. How's the weather? Oh, something wrong with you? No, I'm good.
As soon as you
from a
spawn
different
in,
world.
as soon as you spawn in, giant yeet.
Yeet. That's how I'd love to go. Just like stand right there and just pop. Sounds like a baseball bat. Oh my gosh.
What about you, Snowfuck?
I think I had said it earlier. It was Onimusha.
Onimusha?
But then again, I'm kind of thinking back a little bit, and I'm looking at my pops over here. Pokemon.
Pokemon?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, Pokemon.
It's just,
Pokemon would be a great world to go in.
you can
Oh,
go
yeah.
to you can go to Johto. You can go to I can't remember the name of the other ones. I can only remember Johto,
Kanto.
Kanto, all those other ones.
Not Canto Bite. Not that place. I'm kidding.
Nah, just having the thrill of fighting with Pokemon in real life, if that was the case.
Okay.
Pokemon love you back. You seen the anime?
Yeah. Basically, peaceful fighting.
Peaceful
Right?
fighting. Peaceful fighting.
Until one of the Pokemon decides to try and dominate the world.
Oh Lord.
Ah, Mewtwo. Mewtwo.
Oh my. Well, this has definitely been fun. I definitely would love to do this again if you guys are definitely up
Absolutely.
for it.
We'll go from bi-weekly to weekly to every damn day. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, if it
I
gets
don't know about
to
every
that point, just wake up. How's it going, guys?
Wake up and say how's it going, and just
We could most likely do like we just talked about, or before we did this, what we talked about. I mean, just shows and
I'll be right back.
whatever shows up,
Mhm.
movies and stuff. All right.
Yeah, we could most likely do like we can like I'm hoping we all watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier like that Friday that it comes out, so that if anything we could do this like on a Saturday or whatever, because that would be nice, and then we can just keep talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier whenever we come back to it.
Absolutely.
But definitely this has been fun. I love talking to you guys. I love talking and discussing things, even if we don't like everything. Did we lose you, Snuffa?
There he goes.
We lost him again.
Can it stop doing that?
There's the double.
I keep doing it, man.
It's all good. It's all good.
You're making them find out my portal magic, man. We can't have that.
Exactly.
No, but this was definitely fun. If you guys are up for, we don't have to do it like every week. If you guys are busy, I'm available every week. But I would definitely like to do one for Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
We could
like
do,
whenever the
like, the
episode's
first
there.
episode. Yeah. I don't mind doing that.
Yeah. So I guess we're gonna do this again.
Heck yeah, man.
So before we go, where can they find you, Danny?
You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, possibly every social media platform out there with the username Daniel Rockstar. That is Daniel and RCKSTR. I've used that for absolutely everything, even PlayStation, whatever. I need friends. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, just check me out everywhere, and yeah, well, definitely I'll be putting out more content out soon, and who knows, maybe delve into the realm of streaming, but we'll get to that at some
You
point.
guys hear that? Possible new streamer on the road.
Possible.
Possible.
Where can we find you? Where can we find you, Snow?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Yeah.
Did I say Instagram? I don't know if I said Instagram.
The Instagram, the gram,
And it's
Gram.
usually
And TikTok.
Snowfox
TikTok too.
115, right?
TikTok too.
and TikTok.
And it's usually Snowfox 115, right?
Yeah, for everything.
So you can definitely find them in those platforms, guys. As of me, you're already here. But if you don't know, I am also on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. Just look for Rodskev. You'll most likely find me. On some locations, it might be for Rodskev7. That's my YouTube account, at least. But just do Rodskev, you'll find me anyway. With that, thank you guys for hanging out with us, and thank you for these two beautiful gentlemen for having a chat with me.
And they're all called the Brady Bunch.
Oh, we're gonna do it. Yeah, we're doing the whole looking up.
So I'll look. Wait. Yeah, this way. I'll look this way. Danny looks up, and Roscoe's looking down. Triforce.
There we go.
my two puppies.
Oh,
I had a
gosh.
pupper in here. She's not here no more.
Alright, so this will most likely be the end for the YouTube video. For everyone else still around, we will most likely go ahead and perform a raid and just send you guys off to some other beautiful streamer. So just stick around and have fun in the raid. All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
As usual, guys, have a good night, good morning, or good evening, wherever you are. And see you later.
Holla snack bar.
Take me to another high. Fly away from here. Make my body come to life. I wanna disappear. I need to learn to breathe somewhere. Maybe I can find my peace out there. Wanna run away to you. I'm looking for a safe escape. Saving grace, my kind of getaway, my secret place. Stay where I can't ever be found. Oh, 'cause you never let me down. No. Saving grace, my kind of getaway, my secret place. Stay where I can't ever be found. Oh, 'cause you never let me down. No, you're my safe house. Bring me to the highest ledge. 'Cause I wanna touch the sky, even when I'm falling over the edge. Yeah, we fly, yeah, we fly. I need to learn to breathe somewhere. Maybe I can find my peace out there. Wanna run away to you. I'm looking for a safer place. Say stay